And I'd say like this is pretty typical in terms of traffic on the West End. It's not really a crowded place. The roads are narrow, but it's relatively safe as far as traffic goes. I guess because it's like so windy, you're forced to slow down, and also there are just not a lot of cars there. I bike here, I run here as well, and I like it a little bit better than the beach in the sense of there just not being that many cars passing and driving towards you. It's La Mirage Hotel. That's the sister property to Shirella Inn. Both great small properties, locally owned. It seems like I'm driving fast, but I don't think I'm driving fast. These properties are just like whizzing by. There's Ivan's, otherwise known as Catch a Falling Star. Again, one of my favorite restaurants, I would say, too. Highly recommend them. They do really good stuff, great service and great food. Coming up here on the right, this is the world famous Rick's Cafe, where you can do cliff jumping if you are brave enough, but it's definitely, I would say, the most popular place, bar in Negril, place to go in Negril. LTU, that's a popular expat bar. And they do their famous Halloween party every October as well. I've never been, but I hear stories. I hear it's a lot of fun. Little girl saying hello. Right, we are going deeper into the West End. We're almost in deep West End, but not quite there yet. And coming up on the right is the Caves, which is known as a very exclusive property. A lot of celebrities have been there and stayed there before. I actually went there for dinner the other day, which was very nice. Good food. We had dinner in the Cave. And this is our famous lighthouse. Unfortunately, it has been privatized, so from what I understand, there's no more tours to the lighthouse, which is unfortunate. I've never been. It's just like one of those things you just take for granted. You're like, oh, you'll get there sometime, and then next thing you know, somebody buys it and you can't go in. But it's still an important part of Negril nonetheless. Then on the right is Whoopi's, which was just a famous chill-out spot back in the day, particularly during the spring break heyday in the late 90s, early 2000s. Now you could either go right or go left, and we're going to go right. Down to the left is the Negril laundromat, and then right here, I guess this officially starts the Deep West End. And I like the Deep West End. It's a very different feel from even the West End, the regular West End, if you will, and a very different feel, more so from the beach road. That's a villa there. I forget the name of it, but we've done a few events there for guests at Travelers. Beautiful villa. I want to say, like, some of the most beautiful properties are on the West End, but also the Deep West. Some of the most beautiful properties in Negril. This is the Cliff Hotel on the right side. I think this is the most beautiful property in Negril. Honestly, like, it's just gorgeous. I was there for dinner the other day, a few weeks ago, as a matter of fact. But really beautiful property. And for whatever reason, every time I've been there, there's like nobody there. But I think they focus more on groups than anything else. But I really don't know their business model. But great hotel, great for dinner as well. Highly recommend them as well. Service is great as well. On top of their cuisine. So these roads are not the best, and you can imagine biking here. So you've got to take it easy. But as you can see, a little glimpse on the right side of your screen, the views here are just amazing. And I've seen some of the most beautiful sunsets back here. And I've said this on the channel before. I think this is a great place to invest now, especially like I know there's a lot of people who want sea view, our ocean front, and to get that on the Negril Beach Road is going to be very, very expensive. You know, we're probably talking, at least at this time, what I understand, like depending on the property, $1 million to $1.5 million US per acre. And that might be on the conservative side, to be honest. And again, depending on where it is and what property. Whereas here, you know, I wish I could speak to what you'd pay per acre here, but it's significantly less. It's a lot less developed. But as you'll see as we drive through here, there is a lot of development happening, at least more activity than I've ever seen in recent times. And the types of development that I'm seeing here is mostly villas. And to me, this is like the perfect location, perfect row, if you will, for villas. Treasure Beach has a very similar setup, and there's a part of Treasure Beach where it's just villa after villa after villa after villa. And you're already having elements of this along this deep West End road here. And I think it's perfect, right on the water, just amazing views. You know, I wish we could have got out and shown you, but if you can just imagine, just past these gates, these houses, on the other side, you have just endless views of the sea. And depending on how deep you go, you can actually see the coastline, like looking left and right as you go out to the water. So this is an example of a recently built villa. I don't know the name of it, I don't know the owner, but it's very beautiful. I've seen pictures on Facebook as well. I was actually flying my drone for this property here on the left, somewhere west. We're doing a video for them and working with the owner to help her sell that property. But when I was looking at the drone and looking at that property, it's just really beautifully built, super modern. And again, to me, this is like the perfect location to do accommodations just like that. Or maybe not accommodations, maybe you want to build your dream home. I think this is the perfect place to do it. You're really by yourself, and we're about a little over 17 minutes in. I would say if there is a negative to being back here, it's that it'll take you about 15 to 20 minutes from downtown to get here. But some people like that. Some people love that, as a matter of fact. And just something to take into consideration. Coming up here on the right, this is actually a hotel that just never got off the ground. Obviously, it got off the ground, so to speak, but just never opened, really, for whatever reason. I think whoever did this had great vision. I think this was an excellent location to put a hotel, and I think it was also, in a sense, before its time. But that hotel is actually for sale, and it's being sold by actually one of our real estate experts, St. Alban Clark. So if you are interested, let me know if you want to find out a little bit more information on that property. We can St. Alban can give you that information. So let me know. Shoot me a DM on Instagram at Throp, THROP, or you can shoot me an email at Throp, THROP, at thropmedia.com. I always like driving down this road. It's like super smooth, and then as we make a right here, I always imagine like kids in high school doing drag racing down here, but they don't do that here, and don't do that. I'm not recommending that at all. But we are, again, deep West End. Beautiful views on, at least here, you know, I like this. And to the left, you have like the mountains, and then deep into the right, you have this sea, just to give you a little heads up on orientation. Afternoon, everybody. Happy Sunday. Hope everybody's hearing me okay. Kim. There we go. Okay, we are back for another Sunday live stream here in beautiful Negril, Jamaica, on the 7 miles white sand beach. And we got a pretty good agenda today. We got a lot to talk about, a lot to get into. Articles, just a couple articles that I wanna go through as well. Want to review some content that we released and published this last week or so, or I would say last 7 to 10 days. Want to kind of put everything together. Want to talk about the International Real Estate Conference and Expo, which we're just a couple of weeks away from at the Montego Bay Convention Center, happening, of course, on the 18th to 20th of this month, which I will be at. Want to touch on that. Want to touch on the mini real estate series that we've been doing on my live stream on Thursdays, which has been going very well. They've been really, really awesome, like super just jam packed with knowledge and info and value and all of that stuff. So, a lot to go over today, a lot to discuss. Of course, I want to hear from you all. What city, what state, what country you are chiming in from. Always love to hear it. Always love to know where everybody is coming in from. And going to talk about ThropX. We finalized the dates. We'll be sending out the email this week. We're updating the website currently, and we'll send out the email. So if you want to grab your tickets, you can do that this week. I know I said last week, but we got a small, limited skeleton team here, just trying to do a lot with a little. But those will be out. We'll talk about the dates that we finalized, and I hope you all can make it. Hope you all can make it. So let's let's get into it. Let's get right into it. Let's not even waste any time. Let's show you the beach there. It is beautiful. We got some rain clouds coming in. I was very hesitant to put out the camera. So as per usual, if you see me just stop talking and just disappear, Houdini out of here, that's because it started raining very abruptly, and I can't really, I can't really hear it that well with these headphones on. So sometimes there's a little bit of a delay, and I just mad dash out of here and try to grab the camera before it gets soaked. But I took a look at the clouds. It looks okay. It looks like there's a little sun. So like you're looking, essentially you're looking north to the right side of your screen. So that's where usually northeast is usually where our rain comes from here in Negril. So once you start seeing those dark clouds and a little less sunlight, then you want to make some adjustments. So we'll see. And then sometimes it comes from like directly like north, like so you'll see like where the island is. It literally just kind of takes the curvature of the beach, and you'll see like the island disappear. You'll see that tip there disappear, and then it's coming down the beach. All right, let's hop into the comments here. Hold on one sec. Sorry about that. Okay, let's hop right into it. Where are we starting at here? So let me just address where we open up with the video with the Negril West End tour. I haven't watched it all the way through in a long time. Usually I just play it a little bit and we just get started and I just kind of look at it. So we did this, we filmed that like early to mid last year. Not a lot has changed. The big difference I would say that's going on back there, which I will do a video on, is they're redoing the roads. So yeah, I just want to like as it's on my mind before we get into the comments here. They're redoing the road back there, and it looks like a phenomenal job, like super flat. They didn't put the asphalt down. It's just mall, and they're flattening it out. So it just says a lot. As I was talking in the video about like that being like a place, where it could be like your dream home, or it could be an Airbnb or whatever have you. It's going to be looking like a great road that it's turning into. I don't know how far they're coming down the West End. So let me bring up the map so you all know exactly where I'm talking about. And we'll definitely be doing some coverage there. on what they're on the progress and everything like that, but it looks really, really nice. I was there maybe about 10 days ago. One sec, I'm gonna bring up the map here. All right, there it is. So here, this is Negril, just so everybody knows. We are on the westernmost part of Jamaica, and I'm going to zoom in. And then you got the 7 miles of white sand beach here. So you got 5 here, you got 2 here. And then we're gonna move down to the south here, and then we're gonna go to the west end, right? So we're traveling all around West End Road, coming down, coming down, coming down, and then we are here, deep West End. And then this is the Cliff Hotel. This is the one where I said I think it's the most beautiful hotel in the grill. So just kind of giving you a reference as to where I'm going. So we're going, hold up. I think I just lost my own bearings here. Wait, where am I? Yeah, so this is where I'm started. This is where like they're redoing the road like right here, and it's really bad. It's really really bad. I don't know how far southeast they're going, and then I don't know how far west they're going. I guess going this way, uh, but it looks great. It looks great. It looks great. So this is where they're redoing the road. If you've been to if you've driven to Rick's Cafe recently, where is it? Well, even at church, right before Church Corner, it's really, really terrible. I mean, like literally, the road is falling in the road. So this is Church Corner right here. So basically, right here, like this is pretty much gone. Almost nearly a one lane road here. So I hope they're getting to that soon. And then if you go by Millard, oh my gosh, it's like it's got to be the worst road or worst section of road in all of Jamaica. But I hope that they're going to get there after they finish that deep West End work. So yeah, just a little road work update for you. Okay, let's get into the comments. Jay Lights Difference talking about the thumbnail. Thank you very much for that. I caught that. Thanks to your comment. Appreciate you, Phil. What's going on? Good to see you. Clary T talking about good news, specifically with the water, which we will get into. That's probably going to be the first thing that we'll get into today. Jay Fitz, what's going on? Great to see you. Bob says hi, Throp, and from Rainy Cole, Minneapolis. I'm sorry about that. Mosaic Travel and Tours. Nice to see you on here. How did the retreat go? Want to hear about it. Donna Bryce says, hi, Throp and Throppers. Happy Sunday from Ottawa. Finally. Good to see you. Sunny Ottawa. Anissa, what's your favorite place to eat? Oh, got so many. Got so many. I was just talking about this to my friend in New York. He has some friends down here, and I just gave him a list of recommendations. First thing comes to mind is Sips and Bites, Coletta. Sips and Bites is on the west end. It's pretty much right next to Rock House, and good local spot, like so good. I don't know how they charge the prices that they charge, man, but it's phenomenal. If you come here, highly recommend going there. And then I would say lunch. I mean any meal, but I usually go for either breakfast or lunch at Sips and Bites. And Coletta's, that's definitely like one of the top breakfast spots in the grill for sure, which is on the beach road. Great food, amazing food, both places. So those are my recommendations here. Patricia, hello from Chile, Massachusetts. Yeah, here it's a little nibbly in the northeast there. Ansa says it's a beautiful day here in New Jersey. Finally, oh, we got a beautiful day. Happy to hear that. Donna Bryce says, "Would love to see you do a places to eat in the grill set of shorts videos one day." Actually, we were ready. Talking about skeleton team that we have here, limited resources. We actually already shot that. We shot 2 videos. We shot places to eat, top 5 places. I won't say top 5, but my 5 favorite places to eat, and then my 5 favorite massage spa places in the grill already. Already shot half of the spa has already been edited, um, and haven't done anything with the food stuff. But thank you for the idea. Um, and doing that. But that's coming shortly, I promise. Darnell, thank you, my man. I always appreciate you. Darnell says, "What's up, Drop? I'm checking in from Queens and getting ready for another insightful stream. Get the likes up. Please listen to Darnell. Thank you for your donation, as always, man. Representing New York." Natalie says, "Hello. About to travel to have, excuse me, about to have leftovers from Shark's Restaurant in the West and give them a try. I promise you'll love it." Okay, I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot. Shana, what's going on? It says, "Hello, beautiful people. What's going on, Joe? Nice to see you." Oh, yeah. And thanks for shouting out to Mika and Mosaic Travel and Tourists. True Max says you can identify Jamaica just by the roads. Oh man, what's going on, Punty? Good to see you. Thanks for joining in, Vivine. Happy Sunday from Florida. Tanisha chiming in from Facebook. Nice to see you, Tanisha. Lisa Marie says, "Good day, Throp and Throppers," chiming in from cloudy Connecticut. All right. Sister Fire, happy Sunday from PA. Good to see you. Charmaine is in the grill. Awesome. Nice to know. Hope you're having an awesome time. Right now, traveling from Jersey. Michael chiming in from Atlanta. Good to have you. Cherie, happy Sunday to you. Ficus, what's going on? Chiming in from London. The Mickey Channel says, "Good job, bro. Appreciate you. Thank you." On Garrix is in North Lauderdale, Florida. Good to have you on. MW says, "Happy Sunday, Throb." Thank you. Same to you. Mosaic says, "Retreat was amazing. Playing another for July." Awesome. Glad to hear. Glad to hear everything went well. So yeah, let's get right into the water situation. And I'm gonna move this fan closer. I'm sweating. Yeah, it's kind of warm here. Sorry for the people in Northeast where it's a little chilly. So yeah, want to talk about the water situation. And for those that who are unaware, like Negril has been going through some challenges in getting water. But particularly us the hoteliers. It's been crazy. Some hotels have just come at points have run out of water, and it's been a chaotic situation for guests, and that's not good for business for sure. But there are residents who've been out of water for months and months and months, and don't necessarily have the resources to provide water for their homes and their family. And essentially, it got to a point where we as a community have been trying to get answers for quite some time. And I think the community has been very patient. There was actually two demonstrations that were conducted by residents of the community on the West End because of their frustrations of not getting water. And it got to the point where I was like, "Oh, man, we need to do something about it." So basically last week, the week before, I got together with some of the community leaders and asked them if they'd be willing to come on a live stream to talk about not only the water, but also at the same time, our morass was burning at terrible, terrible rate. And one of the worst combinations of being in a drought, not having water, and then also having the grill morass burn. And so for those who are unaware, the Negril morass or the Great Morass is this area right here. You can see on your screens, which you have the beach and then this morass. And a big part of the reason why we have white sand beach and we have the beautiful turquoise water that we have out there is because of this ecosystem, and the Great Morass being a big part of that ecosystem. And due to drought, due to no rain, the morass burns, and this is something that has been happening for years. But the frustration, and I know I'm switching back between two issues here, but they're kind of in line. So the issue that we and problem is that there have has been money allocated, millions of US dollars that have been allocated to re-wet the morass, and there is, a couple of solutions that have been put forward. There has been many studies that have been conducted. I won't get into the weeds, but if you watch the live stream, uh, a phenomenon breaking down and explaining the science behind. Yeah, Damien did a great job of explaining the science behind how this ecosystem actually works, and then Sophie did a great job in breaking down the what would I say, the solutions that were proposed, the study, many of the studies that were given, are sorry, not given, the many of the studies that were done to get a better understanding of the solutions that need to be created. So I'm putting it in the chat there so you can take a look. And then most immediate challenge that we were facing was, again, not having water. So those were the main topics, and we talked about the trash in the grill too, and the lack of picking up of trash in the grill. And so those were the main topics that we discussed. And what came of it is, the panelists were pretty frank about what was happening and the challenges that were happening and the frustrations of, again, particularly residents. Simone was on there as well, and she was just giving examples of women who just came from the hospital, just having their baby born and going home to not having any running water. And that's a real world example, and that's a crazy situation, crazy situation to be in, and really really unfortunate. So people are really really feeling this situation. So I'm just adjusting my camera. People are really feeling it in this situation, and um, we just wanted to like, the main thing, I think the main takeaway was this: getting some level of communication as to what exactly is happening and what exactly is going on, and that's what we were looking for both on what's happening with the water, and then also with the project of re-wetting the morass, and just getting to the bottom of it and figuring out how do we figuring out from the powers that be, how do we work together to solve these issues that could really jeopardize the livelihood of many many people, in big 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 ways. And that, it's already jeopardizing the health and safety of people, with not having access to running water. So anyway, we what came of that, which I thought was really really awesome, is really thanks to people sharing it, thanks to who the right people, I guess, seeing it. I guess that's a good way to put it. We were able to get a meeting on, was it Thursday? Yeah. So we got a meeting on Thursday with Minister Samuda. Unfortunately, I couldn't stay, and it started a little late, so I couldn't stay because I had the real estate live stream, which you all know that I do every week, and I couldn't exactly hear firsthand, so to speak, what exactly was the outcome of it. We so I say that to say is, it's like we made a difference in having this meeting and getting the word out, and more so like educating people. And I think that was like the main thing that we got out of it. At least I got out of it, and I think people who watch this live stream was like an education. And it's like really like the power of these platforms, right? And especially doing long form content. And I take this stuff like very seriously, when presenting information of this nature, and then even going through the decision to actually do this. And I mean, it was a pretty easy decision. Like, it was more like I have to do it, because I was like, something needs to be done, and the word needs to get out about it. But it wasn't lost on me the risk that I was taking, being a hotel owner, and kind of putting out there like the girl doesn't have any water. Yeah, that's a risk, right? That's a risk to like my business. That's a risk to Negril. And I did get some backlash about about not doing this. Like, hey, do you think this is a good idea for tourism? Do you think it's a good idea to put out there that this is happening? And I'm like, yeah, we need to, because to me is like with a situation that has been prolonged a situation of this nature that's been prolonged for so long, we need solutions and we need to be solution oriented. Like, and that's to me where everybody's mind should be. And it should be like, how do we get to a solution as quickly as possible, because there are people suffering like literally every day. And sure, it was a risk, but at the same time, like, man, we have to educate people on what's going on. So kind of hopping back to the, I guess, the uniqueness and also the power of these platforms is that bringing up the issues, like even the demonstrations that happened. It was covered on national television. I think it was even in the newspaper as well. I'm almost certain, as a matter of fact, it was in the newspaper. But it's just, there's just so much going on in the news, and the news has to cover like all of Jamaica in like a short period of time. So we may get a 2 minutes or 3 minutes of people watching this. If we're lucky, we'll get that long, right? But now with the long form content and doing a live stream that was 2 hours long, those who are interested can really get in the weeds. And Sophie had her reports and she was going through it, line by line, the science of it, why it's happening, why we're doing this, why this solution should be put forward as opposed to the other. And I get it. Like, the news is not going to take that on. It doesn't make sense. People there's too much to cover, and the interest of those watching are like very spread, right? And so everybody who watches the live stream with Sophie, Damien, Simone, Mr. Grizzle, and myself, they're vested. They want to learn. They want to understand. And so if you're going to sit there and spend time with us for 2 hours and we're going to go through these details, you're walking away from this having a great understanding and a great education that you didn't have before. And so I think that's a big thing that we accomplished, and people can go back and watch it. And a lot of it was, I found, to be high level, and I didn't understand some parts, and I asked Sophie to re-explain sometimes. But that's the beauty. We can stay on a topic and we can stay on something specific for as long as we want. There's nobody telling us or telling me that, hey, we got to move on to the next thing. No, not at all. We can stay on it as long as we want. And again, people aren't interested, they'll move on to another YouTube channel or another live stream or whatever, and that's fine. So I thought that was phenomenal. And then moving on, but thank you to Damien, Sophie, Mr. Grizzle, and Simone for coming on. I really, really appreciate it. I think the grill really appreciates it as well, and people who got an education appreciate it as well. So I told them I would do it. I'll do it again in a heartbeat, no matter what. It needed to get out there. And I think we have like a whole bunch of people who are now have a bit more of an intimate understanding of the morass, the fires, the solutions that are supposed to be happening. And then also, maybe we don't necessarily have a complete understanding of what's happening with the water, but at least people understand the real impact that, like, as best I've seen, to be honest, like at least from the perspective of the people on the panel, but really understanding the real impact of the grill not having water. So what came of it was, again, meeting with Minister Samuda, and which was awesome, which was fantastic. That was kind of, one of the best outcomes that we could have asked for in doing this live stream. And I'm going to read the article real quick. So here it is. This is the article. I actually haven't read it, but this is the article that came off of the meeting. So the meeting was at Couple Swept Away, and it says $25 million quick fix for Negril woes. Let me throw that in the comments real quick so you all can see it if you want to read along. Water to be trucked to Westmoreland and Hanover for next 6 weeks. 2,000 black tanks for the needy. Negril, Westmoreland. After months, so let me give credit. This is from the Observer, and it was written by Kimberly Petty, Observer West writer. Negril, Westmoreland. After months of complaints that a water shortage has been wreaking havoc On Negril, minister with portfolio responsible for water, Senator Matthew Samuda, has announced that the commodity will be trucked to two parishes with the resort with which the resort town straddles. We've allocated an additional $25 million for the next 6 weeks to facilitate trucking in Hanover and Westmoreland, the minister revealed. There's also a plan to provide water short storage tanks for the needy, and Samuda referenced the previously announced 70 million US dollar allocated for pipe work expected to begin later this year. We're experiencing a chronic drought in the area, and the impacts are being felt by citizens, and we empathize. But we do not just empathize, we've taken several steps that we believe will alleviate this pressure, he told the Jamaica Observer in an interview on Thursday. A couple swept away in Negril. This was after a marathon closed door meeting with between Samuda, the National Water Commission, local health officials, hoteliers, and other stakeholders. He told them that the black tanks will be distributed as soon as the purchase and deliveries take place. He also spoke of plans to update and outline capital works from Martha Brae into St. James with the Great River system. The minister explained why it had been important for state agencies to convene and discuss the dire challenges those who live, visit, and do business in the resort town have been having in accessing water. We took the time to come and explain the things we are doing, short, medium, and long term, to alleviate the issue, Samuda said. He conceded that it was challenging. It was a challenging time for the affected communities, but stressed that help was on the way. We're very clear that it's a tough time. We're clear that it hasn't been easy, and it won't be easy for the next 4 to 6 months. Excuse me, 46 weeks. 46 weeks. Let me be clear on that. 46 weeks. But we're doing everything in our power to make sure to alleviate the pressure that they are facing, said Samuda. Last month, placard bearing tourists joined residents who staged a peaceful protest in West End Negril to plead for water needed for daily life. According to residents, they have to pay hefty amounts to purchase water from trucks, some of which they allege are operating illegally. President of the Negril Chamber of Commerce, Elaine Allen Bradley, who was instrumental in organizing Thursday's meeting, told the Observer that while she was comfortable with the proposals made by Samuda, she hopes they will be backed up by action. So far, I'm comfortable in the sense that he's given some long-term, short-term, and medium-term and immediate sort of proposals on how we're going to move forward. I think the meeting went very well. We've been into meetings like these, and we've heard the talks, and that we now liked him to walk the talk. Negril, said Alan Bradley, Negril is on their knees begging. Please pay Negril some attention and give them back some of the money that they're earning for the tourism industry, she pleaded, a refrain often echoed by others who do business in the town. Member of Parliament for Western Hanover, Tamika Davis, told the Observer that this has been the most difficult, challenge accessing water. Western Hanover has seen the worst crisis that we will ever witness. Most of the communities have the same cry. There's simply no water, she said. She's looking forward to the implementation of a short-term fix followed by long-term solutions. We're happy to hear that these plans that there are afoot are about to be embarked on, Davis added. That's the end of the article, which is awesome. Hold on, let me take that down. So, it made a difference. I'm the video, doing the live stream, and then thank you to Mrs. Allen Bradley, who's the president of the Negril Chamber of Commerce, for organizing, coordinating, and making this happen. And yeah, it's one of those things, like, there needs to be a long-term solution, like, really badly, like, and really quickly. And I'm here, and I understand my position very clearly. I am the move to Jamaica, invest in Jamaica guy, and I understand that. I understand that role, and I understand the responsibility in playing that role, right? And so, as we look at like all these things, all these great things that are coming to Jamaica, and particularly coming to Negril in the Western region, it's a great question to ask. Like, what would happen if this happened with the Princess Hotel online? And Princess Hotel being the biggest hotel in all of Jamaica, 2,000 rooms, whenever it opens. It's not open yet. What's gonna happen with that? What's gonna happen? There's rumors of a $5 billion development, US dollar development happening in the Little Bay area here in the West. Um, I'm gonna bring that up because I reference this all the time. So Little Bay is here. If you look on your screens, this is Little Bay. I'm gonna zoom. Sorry, this is Little Bay. I'm gonna zoom out so you see where it is. So this is the Negril 7 mile strip here, and like Little Bay here. I would say it's maybe 45 minutes from Negril, and it's a little bit of a bad road some places, so that's what really slows it down. And this supposedly, we've seen articles, a couple years ago about the articles literally speculate. I don't know if it's speculative, but it seemed like they were speculating in the article that they're looking to do a $5 billion development here. And this is absolutely, I've only been here once and just like peeked and looked down the beach. Beautiful, gorgeous, absolutely stunning, 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 stunning. So anyway, when we go through things like this and we hear about these crazy developments that are happening in and around the area, you tend to think like, okay, what's going to happen when a drought happens? Because again, we're used to a drought. We understand drought. We understand the importance of conservation during the drought. We understand that during droughts, the water commission shuts off water, like say from 12 a.m. to 5 a.m. Excuse me. So we're used to that. We're used to rationing as a community, as hotels, but it's never, never, I promise you, never even been close to what we've experienced this year. Like, not even close. If you talk to any hotelier, anybody who's been here for long, if you go on the streets, you're just going to see any time of day or night, you're seeing water trucks zooming up and down, zooming up and down. And I mean, zooming, because time is money for those guys. So you just think about what the future is going to look like and wonder if like things are being put in place to kind of hedge against the inevitable, right? And I don't know the specifics, but as the article was saying, that Minister Samuda talked about the long-term plan, and I do think the government understands that. I think they see what's coming down the line, but we talked a lot on the live stream about the cart being put before the horse, and we gave all kudos and respect to the Minister of Tourism, who's doing a really, really awesome job in getting tourist visitors coming to Jamaica. And he's also doing a great job in getting hotels. I don't know if he's the one specifically doing it, and his team and other ministries, right? They're doing a great job in attracting foreign direct investment to Jamaica in crazy ways that we've never seen before. But like we have a lot of bottlenecks. We have bottlenecks with the roads, which is, I mean, they're being addressed in like one of the biggest ways. Like, we're hearing about highways, we're hearing about bypasses, yada yada yada. So they understand that the expansion of the airport of Montego Bay Sangsters International Airport. But now when we look into the infrastructure like water, it's just like, man, again, us who feels it right now, we're just like, I hope these things are moving quickly. I hope they're moving fast and they're being expedited, all these things, because you don't want the momentum that the country is feeling. You don't want it to slow down. You don't want it to crumble. You'd hate to see anything like that. And I think a lot of this can be preempted. So again, this is great. Hats off to Minister Samuda for coming down in the grill. Appreciate you coming up with these solutions. You and your team, working with the other ministries and agencies to get real action quickly and expediting all of this. Like, it's well appreciated. And so we'll see what happens in the next few weeks. I will, of course, keep everybody up to date on what's happening, what's going on with these tanks that are going to be provided for the needy, like was said in the comments. And we'll see what happens in the next 6 weeks. So we'll be paying keen attention, keen attention to what is happening, and hoping for the best. Being optimistic about all of this, and hope this can turn around, and hope we get some rain. I thought we are gonna get some rain, but the sun is coming out. But like praying for rain for sure. Praying for rain for sure. So yeah, that's the kind of update on the water situation. And thank you all for those who chimed in and engaged on the live stream. I know I promised to answer your questions, but we couldn't get to it during the live stream. When I thought we were going to do an hour or so, we went 2 hours, which was great. Thank you for all those who shared the live stream. But it's just one of those things. We can't take our foot off the gas pedal. I know how these things work. We got to stay on it. As a community, we know how these things work. Decision has been made. There's going to be an implementation of a strategy shortly. So we're going to continue to monitor the situation and work with the authorities to make sure, especially the residents, get their water, get their tanks, whoever's supposed to get the tanks. And we're going to make sure that it happens. And again, going to stay positive more than anything else. So thank you all again. Okay, let's got a couple other articles I want to talk about. But one thing I want to talk about, kind of let me hop to the comments real quick, and then we'll move on to the next topic here. Karen Rose says, I love this time together with y'all. Chiming in from Atlanta. Good to see you, Karen. Excel chiming in from Toronto. Good to see you, Mr. Info. Welcome. Douglas says, watching from Hollywood, California, representing Clarendon, Jamaica. Big up yourself. I learned so much from listening to you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here, Doug. Human being from Hawaii. Aloha. What's going on, GH? Chiming in from Dallas. Good to see you. All right. Marlon says, doesn't Negril have more than 7 miles of beachfront? Negril, Jamaica is known for its stunning 7-mile beach. However, Long Bay Beach Park and Bloody Bay. Not to my knowledge. So as I know it, like from here, so from the Grill Beach Park, which is all the way down here. So I like from right starting, this is the pier. This is the South Negril River here. This is basically essentially downtown Negril. So from here all the way up here. So you're basically like right here is this is trying to get my bearing straight here. This is Sandals. This is Sandals, and then this, I believe this is the gate for Hedonism. Yeah, this is Hedonism here, and then this is Point Village. So this is essentially where the 5 miles of 7 miles gets cuts off, like right there, right at this point where I was showing. And then if you go around, then you get to Bloody Bay. So this is Bloody Bay here. This is where you have the Rios, Royalton, and this is 2 miles. And then right on the other side of that is the Little Bay Country Club, which is a private gated community on the northern part of the beach. So that is what I know makes up the 7 miles of Negril. White Sand Beach, 7 miles of White Sand Beach of Negril. All right. Empress. Oh, sorry. Let me take this down. Empress Leia says, it's past time they send water for Negril. Thank you for bringing the issue to the international community. I think this is the reason they finally came through. My mom was born in the 60s, and she told me Jamaica had no water issues, at least in Kingston where she grew up. Yeah, I believe it. I think what's a big part of it is the population growth. Like, and the concentrated population growth more than anything else. And I believe, and I have been saying this before, like I believe the transient population growth in I can speak for Negril has exploded. We're getting more tourists. I mean, there's no question actually. We're getting more tourists than we've ever got before coming to Negril. and then also the population of residents in Negril has grown and has expanded rapidly, and that's where I would say like a study would be great to understand how many people are actually living in Negril, and then do like a proper census and ages and everything like that. I this is my kind of like qualitative observation of kind of what's happening in the growth. And then also, even from like a traffic standpoint, you could feel like these have, even the rudders that we have here and the traffic lights, like there are a lot of cars on the road. And we've talked about this before that, it just, and I think it's a good thing, not more cars, but it's just a good thing. Like things have slowed down here in the grill. But certain times of the day, you're gonna be moving at a snail's pace, and it is what it is, right? And especially downtown, but you again, this is recorded, this is live. I'm telling you, in 2, 3 years from now, at some points, it's gonna be a parking lot downtown. It's gonna be a parking lot on the beach road. You're gonna think it's Dream Weekend, like just on a random Friday. Like you already see the amount of cars on the road and the amount of people who are coming in. So, as we talk about bypasses, as we talk about highways, like we can see the writing on the wall. We can see what's going to happen. It's very, very clear to me. Very clear. Tisha, what's going on? Good afternoon, everyone joining the live a little late. I hope I didn't miss much at all. You're just on time as far as I'm concerned. Nice to have you as always. Uh, and Empress Leia, basic human needs. Jamaica had more tourists. So this year, yep, I was just saying that they should be setting up permanent solutions because the tourism is increasing steadily. And I think they are. It's just at what pace. And I don't think, I mean, it's just true. Jamaica is just not keeping up with the pace of its own growth. And it's concerning. And what are you going to do? Slow down it? I don't know. I don't know. But I think there has to be, I'm not saying not to do nothing. I'm more so saying like let's put some short-term solutions in place while the infrastructure catches up. Also, like letting people know what's happening and how to prepare. Like leave your house 10 minutes. Like I'm telling you, in 2, 3 years, we're going to be like, hey, I'm going to be in Chamber of Commerce meeting, and everybody's going to be like, all right, you got to leave your house 15 minutes earlier than you normally do because things have just gotten so, I wouldn't say bad, but like things have really traffic that is has really slowed up, and so we got to leave a little bit early, that sort of thing. This temporary solution that was proposed by Minister Samuda and the uh, the black water tanks and the water trucks for the next 6 weeks. We need short-term solutions to alleviate the short-term pain points. And I understand, and I remember the prime minister saying that. Oh man, I just forgot the quote. It just jumped out of my head. What was the quote? But basically, his quote was like, "Jamaica we're going through a teething process. We're growing, and like we got to understand that. Like we are for sure, and like I truly, truly, truly believe this. Um, we are under construction. There's so many things happening. I think every developed country has gone through a process of this nature, where it's really inconvenient and it's unfortunate that we're living through this and at this time, but this is our burden to bear, being in whatever generation alive and living here, visiting here, whatever have you. But we got to think that like this is going to be so awesome and so good for the kids who are coming up, and they won't have to go through that. Like this won't be their challenge and this won't be their burden. They'll be able to take on something else to make Jamaica even greater. And so we just got to be steadfast. I think we got to hold the people who need to be held accountable to do things. We got to push the envelope forward where we can. I was going to say bob and weave sort of thing, but there are again certain short-term solutions that I think we can put in place to again manage this teething process, as I'd like to call it, that we are going through. And I think it's just going, once we get past this, once we get over the hill, I think we're going to be just so much better for it. But again, it's just a matter of managing through all this, and and trust me, it's tough. Like we're in it. We're in the belly of the beast here in the grill. Blazer fan says, could there be a tax that would only go to funding water supply in the grill? I mean, they have the solutions, right? The solution is like Jamaica is as a whole is not short of water. You know, our rivers and like we're not short of water, land of water. Um, the the issue is getting it rerouted to, and like that's what they're working on. Like they've been working on this for like I think over 10 years. I'm sure at this point. Basically having an interconnected water system throughout Jamaica. So if St. James is out of water or low on water, but Portland, I don't know if this is exactly how it's going to work, but Portland has water. We can reroute the water from Portland to St. James because there's an abundant amount there, right? And so, from ideally, like that's the way the system would work, and that's what they've been working on for many years. And that to me seems like uh, the best solution are somehow get more rain all over. But that that to me like seems like a good long term solution. But they are they are working on it. They are working on it. Wallen says, why doesn't Negrillians address the fact that there is way more than 7 Mile beachfront in Negril than need access to fresh water? I'm not sure exactly what you mean. If you're saying like people on the West End who need water other than the beach road, we talked about that in great detail on on my live stream, and I would say that was more so the inspiration for having the live stream is the residents. They were the ones. Again, I said this before. Like we are as hotels are suffering for sure. Many hotels have during this time, these last few weeks, many hotels at some point have run out of water completely, and I mean that is chaotic for if you're especially if you're a larger hotel and you have hundreds or thousands of people in a concentrated area that don't have water. But that's one side of the coin. Well, when we talk to the residents who live here and like they've been suffering for months for this, like from this, and like that was the real that was the bigger inspiration for having this conversation and this discussion. So my live stream was not about was really very in a small way about hotels. And when we look at the article that we just read, the solutions were specifically for the residents of Negril. So I want to be very clear on that. Natalie Holmes and leaning on the horn when coming around the curve. Oh, sorry, you guys must be talking about something else. African Spanish family, greetings, everyone. Greeting to you. Ficus says, have I missed something? Why is there no water in the pipes? What's the real solution? No water trucks. I guess you kind of heard what I'm saying. Yeah, the real solution again is rerouting water to Negril from other parts of the country, and vice versa. Maybe there's a situation where we have an abundant amount of water here, and we're able to service other parts of the country. So that's the long-term solution. Why we're here is we're in a drought. We're in a drought. I also think that we probably need an upgrade in the system as well in terms of like our pumping stations and our conservation systems. So I think that is also part of the plan as well. Chartree House says, good afternoon, Throp, and everyone. Trucking in water is unsustainable. I'm glad solutions are on board. Throp's efforts prove that community knowledge and pressure matter for real results. Thank you. Thank you for that. Appreciate you typing that. Delroy says, Delroy from Brampton, what's the timeline for all these promises? Great question. I don't know the timeline, and I will look into this. I don't know the timeline for the pipes. Somebody told me the pipes are in Green Island. Like, I don't know. I really don't know if that's true, but it's a good question to find out. Is it going to be a year? Is it going to be 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? I will try to find out. Thank you for that, Delroy. Joe Simpson says the water problem in Negril is fundamental. It's puzzling why such a basic necessity is still scarce in a progressing world. Great point. King Naldo says happy Sunday, everybody. From King Naldo in Maryland. Good to have you on, man. Betsy Mason says hi, Throp from cold, rainy Minneapolis. Got a couple of Minneapolis people here. Sorry, it's rainy and cold there. Debbie says, "Hi, Throp. This is Debbie. I spoke to you the other day. Do you know how they plan to distribute the water tanks? People are asking me." No, I do not. Unfortunately, I wasn't at the meeting, so I don't know. I would try to find that out. I'll try and find out how and also when. They said they'll according to the article, they're going to distribute it once it's purchased and delivered. But I don't know what the process is. But I will try to as soon as I hear and find out, I will get that word out. I'll put it out on my community page. Reed Wright says, "You guys are in the middle of another drought, and that's not good. And I'm really feeling sad about this. Everyone has to do their part to minimize the effects of the same. Unfortunately, there's only." I didn't get the end of your comment there. I am MJ876 says, "Good afternoon, Throp and Chat. Chiming in from New York. Can Jamaica dig a well like they did in Africa? Jamaica used to supply water to Cayman." Yeah, so there is a couple of Jamaica also supplies water to the cruise ships, right? We talked about that as well. But there is one hotel recently that has dug a I don't know what you call it. They dug a hole to the well, so they're getting well water now from underneath. But apparently there is some potential long-term dangers in doing that. I don't know, but they got approved to do it. Something to think about. They also talked about desalinization, and that can have some negative effects as well. So I don't know a lot about these things, and I don't know the implications of doing it. It sounds great, but is sucking water from the aquifers. Is that good? Are we going to suffer? Is that going to taking away from the morass or something? I have no idea. It sounds great in theory. There is, like I said, there is a hotel. At least I know of one hotel in Negril that is doing that, and they've implemented their system already. I'd love to know how effective it is. If they're kind of been in their bubble, in their own little bubble with this drought that's going on because they have the well. So I don't know, but it's an interesting solution to find more information about. Andrew Max says, "Are there any reservoirs in Negril?" In Negril, no, none that I know of. None that I know of. Harlan Anderson said, "This should finish the census. It should give you the demographics you are looking for in Negril and the rest of Jamaica." Are you saying that they just finished it? I'll take a look if they did. FICA says, "The last thing we need to move the water supply onto the road network. That would be robbing Peter to pay Paul." Fair point. Natalie says, 165 watching, but only 64 have liked the stream. Go hit the like button, please. Yeah, please listen to Natalie. Also, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. There's what I'm realizing, there's like a lot of people are watching these live streams but are not subscribed, which is crazy. Subscribe. Make sure you don't miss out on the live stream because we got another one coming up on Thursday. Copeland Russell says, "The reason why Jamaica has no water problem now, those old pipes all burst, so you would have to run the country all over with new pipes." BCA Smith says, "Yes, we need accountability." King Naldo says, "It's all talks until Negril become its own municipality, self-rule with an actual mayor and council making the decisions on a local government level, another taxation without representation like DC." I agree with this. Like that has to happen. I would love to see that happen in my lifetime. Negril become its own municipality. Like our needs are just very. I mean, every town, like any town of this size, and any town of this economic level of economic impact that we're having on the nation, it needs its own representation because its challenges are unique. The people who live here, do business here, they're the ones who understand intimately what is best for. Well, I won't say we always know what is best for us, but we know intimately the challenges that we are facing, and that we can accurately present them to government powers that be, and then also come up with solutions. But many times I have found like we do we do know what is best for us and the solutions because particularly the Negril Chamber of Commerce does a great job of sourcing like high level experts. I mean, even when they were considering doing uh what were they? The breakwaters in the grill, which we fought against vehemently. Like we got experts from the Netherlands who are like the foremost experts in beach erosion and beach retention. And those are the kind of resources that we go after. Like we want top level global experts, especially anything that has to do with nature and what could jeopardize our all of our well-beings here. And so that is kind of the level that Negril goes after in terms of when we do get experts and we're trying to figure out a solution. But to your point, Naldo, like that has to happen because there's just, I mean, another example of that is the rewriting of the morass, right? And Sophie went into this on the live stream, like in detail about just solutions being basically forced down our throat here in Negril by Kingstonians, and they don't live here. They don't come down here. They're not spending extended periods of time here to really understand the problem. And that happens all the time. That happens all the time, like where decisions are just being made in Kingston about Negril, and like so many times, like, what are you guys doing? What do you? I don't even want to go down, go back in the past on that, but with the municipality, that a lot of that will be avoided because we'll have direct representation. Whoever our mayor is or whatever they'll live here. They'll be able to hear our voices and learn from us and learn from the community. Hopefully, they come from the community, as a matter of fact. So, good point. So, Simpson, what's the business case for investing in Negril when there are numerous other locations without this issue offering potential higher profitability? Great question. Great question, Zoe. Way to back me in a corner, right? So, I mean, if you look at, and you got to take this from like a larger perspective. And when you say where there are other locations without this issue offering potentially higher profitability, so I'm gonna like answer that more like on a global, from a global perspective, as opposed to answering it, say, in a grill versus a Montego Bay versus an Ochi or something like that, right? And so you don't necessarily, in my mind, you don't want to invest in the top of the market unless you got top of the market kind of money, right? And I always compare Negril or Jamaica and New York, and they're essentially on the opposite sides of the spectrum. And when you look at New York, excuse me, it is for sure that is a mature market in real estate specifically, but even in technology, in commerce, whatever have you, that is a very, very mature market. And if you're going to go to New York and you're going to invest in New York somehow, you're going to need some really, really, really big bucks to do that. And to make money and make a profit there, it's just on a different scale. It's just on a different level where you come into Negril and you look at, if you were to make an investment, say, let's talk about like a residential investment, even like a Point Village, for example. Let's go with Point Village because I know Point Village. So you invested in a home or an apartment 5-7 years ago. You've probably doubled your money. Not even probably. You've doubled your money. So if you bought a home, if you bought an apartment in Point Village, you're probably in, definitely pre-pandemic, and if you bought even before that, you're probably spent less than $100,000 on whatever apartment. And to even come to the table for a 1 bedroom or even a studio, you're probably going to need $250,000-$300,000 minimum to even have a conversation to move there. Whereas just a few years ago, you could probably get that for $100,000, probably less. 10 years ago, for sure, you can probably find an apartment there for $100,000 or less. So there's a great appreciation and value, and when you look at margins, it's there. So, like, coming in here now is like you're investing in the potential, right? And you will have to believe, honestly, like you'd have to believe that the issues that we're facing now, that they're short-term issues. If you believe that the water problems that we have now are only going to get worse, that there are not going to be any solutions, and you don't believe in the government, you don't believe that the government is going to do what they're supposed to do to ensure that they're going to protect this nest egg and this golden goose that we call Negril, right? The goose that laid the golden egg that we call Negril, right? And so there has to be, you have to believe in the potential, right? You have to believe that things are going to get better, and not even from like a hope perspective. Like, you have to look at like the government structure, you have to look at the community, you have to look at the leaders, you have to look at the economics of Jamaica. We talk about a lot about the GDP to debt ratio, like all these different factors that you as an investor consider, and of course, I always say this is we're in a global economy where so global, more globalized than we have ever have before. And I always say, look into other markets. Don't only consider the grill. Don't only consider Jamaica as an investment opportunity. I've been, I've had Jamie from the DR come on a few weeks ago talking about investment opportunities in the DR. I've gone to his platform and talked about investment opportunities here in Jamaica. And so you should be comparing, if, as an investor, that is, you should be comparing what your potential return on investment could be in other locations for sure. So I think more than anything else, like, you're investing in potential here. You're investing in a, what I call the gorilla diamond in the rough. I think so, because I think there is just so much. I mean, there's so much upside to where we are now and to where we're going. So I guess it really does come down to your confidence and your belief. And I have high confidence, and I know this is me personally speaking now. I do believe, like, what I'm talking about now, what we're talking about now, these are short-term problems. And we do have some short-term solutions, but there are long-term solutions in the pipeline. And when, with Minister Samuda coming down, flying over, and being here, it's a testament to me to their commitment, the government's commitment to Negril. Again, would we like to see things happen faster? Absolutely, absolutely. I do believe like this, like a lot of this will be a thing of the past. The water, the rewetting of the morass, excuse me. There has been, again, millions of US dollars that have been allocated to to that solution. Now it's just a matter of making it, what would I say, picking the right solution, because there's four solutions that Sophie talked about. So now it's a matter of picking the right solution, so to speak, on that, and making sure that that money is allocated correctly. I know a lot of people didn't believe in that last week. So, that's my case, and I also look at, from kind of going out from a small investor, right? And I look at these multinational globalized companies, and I look at the amount of money that they're spending here as well. And I'm not saying blindly follow these companies, and I'm not saying because they're investing here, you should too. Like, I'm not saying that at all. But it is a data point, right? And if they're taking hundreds of millions of US dollars and they're putting it in Jamaica, I always say they have a lot more access to data than we do. They have way, 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 way more data, and they're not investing hundreds of millions of dollars into Jamaica and into this side of the island to lose it. They're doing it to make an extremely high profit, tens of millions, even billions of dollars. Like, that's what they see here. And I'm like, if they see it, I hope we can see it, right? And so that's kind of what I'll say on that. So thank you for the question, Simone. Zoe Simpson, I appreciate it. Crunchywork says, Res Busy Road. I don't understand. I don't know where that is. Sorry. The amazing M&G, hello, host, and everyone in the chat. I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. Thumbs up done. Thank you. Appreciate you. BCA Smith, they need to develop island-wide water infrastructure. Yep, they are doing that. Blazer fan says, do you recommend tourists to visit Negril now, or should they wait until residents West End have water? I would not want to be taking water from someone who lives there. No, I don't think that is the case, and it's not a case of like we're getting water. I mean, they're not getting water because we're getting water. That's not the case. It's more so like your it really comes down to affordability because they have to buy the truck. They have to buy water from the truck, which is they're buying it at a premium. They're not paying the same rate that they would for the water that's coming out of their pipes. That's the problem. That's the problem. So the trucks are going to a refilling station and they're coming back to Negril and they're giving hotels water, they're giving the residents water, but it's can you afford to get a water truck? So that's why the solution from Minister Samuda says, hey, we're going to be trucking water to the residents, and then also we're going to be giving out tanks. So absolutely come to Negril. I think most people who are visiting Negril, unless you're staying, actually, let me take that back. Let me take that back. Some Airbnbs don't have water. So just make sure that if you're going to be booking an Airbnb, that they have some sort of backup water system or it's rationed. So that would be the inconvenience that you could possibly face. If you're staying at a hotel, you probably have no idea that this is happening. Honestly, like here at Travelers, I mean, you have no idea because we're just on it. And I'm not saying like it's easy or anything like that. Like we're hustling, we're making phone calls, making sure that our tanks are filled, monitoring it, so on and so forth. The great hotels that are up the beach and on the West End who are well managed, their guests probably have not a clue, not a clue. So, like I said, you won't be taking away from anybody. Delroy says, any plans to address the garbage problem? We talked about it on the live stream. And it seems like from the way Mr. Grizzle is explaining to me, it seems like a logistical challenge. And you just need to focus on not you, but the NSWMA of like managing the trucks that they have. And then there also seems to be a huge conflict of interest between public and private contracts with garbage pickup. So I won't get into that. That's if you want to check it out, that's in the live stream. We talked about that at length. JD says, good afternoon and good program. Westmoreland have enough water for the citizens, just lack of leadership. Debbie says, thanks. Whitehall community members want to know how they decide who gets one. Debbie's talking about the black water tanks. As soon as I know, I will let you all know. I will definitely put it out. Man, sorry, I'm way backed up on these comments. Sorry, I'm gonna blaze through these. So we gotta get to the next comments. Next topic here. Let me see. Let me hear from people I haven't seen. Giselle Vlog says, honestly, Westmoreland has too much natural spring and river to have no water. It's a real shame. King Naldo says, a land with 120 major rivers and another. I think you all are making the same point here. Another 500 small streams that Jamaica taken from the Taneo language, which means land of wood and water. So us having this discussion is an oxymoron in itself. Joan Richardson says, greetings from Bermuda. Every building here must construct a water harvesting tank by law. Maybe Jamaica should do the same. It really works. So that was another solution I believe Damien proposed, is that I think we're speaking specifically about hotels coming online, that they are required to have some sort of water harvesting system. I think that's a great idea. I think that's the same for residents as well. Really important. Andrew Max says, taxation without representation. Don't y'all have a counselor? No, so the problem is, good question, and you're absolutely right. No taxation without representation. A big part of what made America. We're split between Westmoreland and Hanover. That's a problem with Negril, and so we don't have accurate representation because you'll ask like, so our mayor is who's the mayor of Westmoreland. Actually, we have a new mayor now, um, and we're just thrown between the two. That's the problem. We need one person, one body representing Negril, and we don't have that currently in place. SK Skipper says, I watched a video harvesting the moisture above the sea to get fresh water could be an alternative to desalinization. It's a video from a YouTuber, 2-Bit Da Vinci. Okay, we'll look into that. All right, let's keep going here. Philly Yardy Vibe says, Kingston is not Jamaica. About time they get that out their pea brain. Tish says, hello all. Happy Sunday from Florida. Good to see you, Tish. Jay Fitz says Saudi Arabia does not have water shortages and they are in a desert. They have figured out how to solve their water concerns. Wow. Great point. Great point. Never thought of it like that. Clark T says, you are delivering Sunday sermon. Preach, Rev Throp. You are on point. Thank you. I've invested in the grill where I'm going. I expect long-term gains. Same here. Same here. Vivian says, money makes things happen. Steven says Saudi Arabia oil revenues into infrastructure like roads, water, education. Jeff says Jamaica needs good hydroelectronic projects for water shortage and electric power generation. Lots of underused rivers. Freedom Blog says there's a river in every parish in Jamaica. Leadership lazy. We have enough water for the next 500 years. Every parish can supply itself. RNC CEO, RN2 CEO, hello all. Smash that thumbs up and give Throp a like, please and thanks. Appreciate you. Clarity says, hi Throp, I'm trying to purchase a pass for all the days for the convention, 18th through 20th. Should I just show up and pay at the door? I think you can. So Clarity, thank you. This is a good opportunity to bring up the convention. They're talking about the international. Oh, I got so many of these flyers. Sorry, I'm going to take down your comment real quick so we can see it. So what they're talking about is the International Real Estate Conference and Homeowners Expo 2024. So this is happening from April 18th to 20th. This is the conference is, see on the left here, the conference is from the 18th to the 19th, and the expo is from the 19th to 20th. So there's an overlay there, and it's going to be at the Montego Bay Convention Center. Now, if you go to their website, irec.realtorsjamaica.org, you can get your tickets there, and I will be there. My team will be there. We're actually be doing a keynote speech, and also we're going to have a booth there. So very, very excited for that, and I hope you will be able to attend. But if you want tickets, you can purchase your tickets there. They told me, I should know this off the top of my head. I'll make sure I announce it on Thursday. They told me where my booth is going to be, but I don't remember. They also told me what day and what time. I already said this, but I forget what it is, but I'll tell you which day and time that I'm speaking. So if you want to come to the conference and you want to see my presentation, you can do that. I'll make sure that I get that to you. So hope you all can make it. Some of you can make it to the conference. Trying to, yeah, I guess these are all accurate. These are some more flyers that we have for it. Some of the speakers that will be there: Senator the Honorable Auburn Hill, Minister of Industry, Investment, and Commerce, Ian Hurdle, who's the president of Turks and Caicos Real Estate Association, and Edwin Wint, the chairman of the IREC and Homeowners Expo Committee. So he is actually a guest on my weekly live stream on Thursday a couple of weeks ago. Very super knowledgeable about real estate in Jamaica. So he'll be there. So hopefully some of you all can make it to there. Thank you for that opportunity, Clary. All right, where are we? The comments. Zoe Simpson says Chinese investments often have multiple layers, with profit sometimes taking a back seat to pursue in the pursuit of control and influence. Marlon says, thanks, Drop, for taking on these difficult topics. No problem. My pleasure. My pleasure. Alfonso, what's going on? Alfonso War says, what's up? I always said Jamaica should be one of the last countries on earth to have a water problem with so many rivers across the country. We should be exploiting alkaline water in the region. Good point. Sorry, not exploiting, exporting alkaline water. Corey MPA, what's going on? Late to live. Good evening, all from London. Throp, you should have come out to the half marathon today. No, I am. I'm actually supposed. I'm actually signed up for the full marathon, London Marathon, on was it the 23rd of this month? Sorry, 21st. So 2 weeks from now, I should be running the half marathon. But I tore my meniscus, and I had to pull out. So I actually sent my what do you call it? What was the terminology that they used? But it was very sad pressing that button, officially pulling out of the marathon. So hopefully next year, the plan is I will be running the London Marathon next year. I'm going to get healthy. I'm going to fix my knee, and I will be there. And I will let you all know. I was really, really looking forward to meeting a lot of you. We were supposed to do a meetup there in London, but unfortunately, not this year. Not for me. Gotta get healthy. Gotta fix the knee. Joshua Straw Music says, "Hey, Throp, tuning in from the UK. Hoping to link up with you over the next couple of months. When I come over, let me know. I'll be here." Blazer fan says, "Taxation without representation." Keep saying it. Joshua says Thailand has similar water issues and shortages and haven't been able to figure it out. Interesting. I didn't know that. I'll have to look into that. Democracy says blessings, Throp. All right, thanks for joining. Tesha says I'm very positive and hopeful about the future as well, Throp. I just know that people will continue to require officials to do more for the people, and Jamaica will only get better for locals and visitors. Yeah, a lot of this does come down to strong leadership. A lot of it comes down to leadership that puts the country first, the country over party, the country over politics, and you need that type of leadership, and then who like just genuinely are in their position to just help people. That's the leadership we need. It just wants to, I guess, make a sacrifice in a sense for the next generation, right? And I think that's like what we're here for, is like make the world a better place, make our communities better, make our country better. And so that's the type of leadership that we need, really, really, and we need to put forward. I think we have that in many, not some, in many areas of Jamaican leadership, and that's both private and public, but it's not everywhere. Blazer Francis, Singapore is big on water harvesting. 35% of the water supply comes from rainfall. That's awesome. Vivian says Suncoast Development in Bull Bay will have a water harvesting facility. Awesome. I didn't know that. Persian Immortal says, I think he meant Saudi. Saudis are manipulating weather to turn their desert green. Okay, I was. I heard about that. Clarity says, please share your presentation day. I will keep trying to purchase online. Otherwise, I will just show up. I think you just show up is fine. And I think it'd be perfectly okay. Throb, did you inquire or receive feedback if the IRC conference will be live streaming on online views? No, I didn't. Let me text right now. Should have just done this last time. I will find out in a second. Stray K says in Bermuda, homes are built with water reservoir as part of the foundation. Persian Immortal says best is to hydrate through fruits and coconut. It will also help the Rastaman. Yeah, I like that. All right. Okay, we're gonna take a quick break. We still got tons to talk about, and we've been doing this for an hour and a half. I don't mind. I don't mind. We're here chilling. It's a beautiful day. Clouds are clearing up. I'm gonna put on. Okay, so we're gonna put on a quick travelers. Our cottage. Gonna show you guys our new cottages that we have here. When we come back, I know I'm gonna forget. I'm not gonna tell you what we're gonna talk about when we come back. But also want to just let you all know is that if you are, and I appreciate all of those people who come to travelers, even if you come by for a drink, you come by for having a meal, and of course, if you come and stay with us, I really, really do appreciate it, and thank you so much for supporting my family's business. But we also now have worked out a deal. I don't know why we haven't. It's taken 4 years, but we are where we are. So if you book with travelers, if you can let them know that you booked, you heard about it through Throp, through this channel, then a small, very small commission comes back to the company, and it really helps out with the channel. So we started doing that because so many of you, and I thank you and appreciate you, have come and asked for me and told the team like I'm here because of Throp, I'm here because of the Throp channel, and that's well appreciated. And so like what we decided is like, okay, that's bringing a lot of value to the hotel. Now how can we give back to the channel and back to what we're doing here? So if you would, like with your booking, just let them know. And I think now there's actually an option if you book online through our website. How did you hear about us? You can put Throp, and if you didn't indicate that when you check in at the front desk, if you just let them know, that will go like a very, very long way. So thank you again, all those who have stayed with us and plan to stay with us in the future. So with that, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to do a travelers. Let's do the cottages. There's another travelers ad. This is the old one. I'm just trying to remember what's on it. It's a walkthrough of travelers. Let's do the cottages. Okay. Be back in a few. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining the tour today. And we're going to be taking a look at the newly renovated bungalows, or otherwise now known as the cottages, which we've gone through about half of them so far. And we're looking at cottages number 4 and 8 at this time. And this is just a view of the balcony. We changed the entrance from being in the middle. And so if you are familiar with the property, there used to be an entrance for 2 rooms in one of these bungalow housing structures, and now each bungalow, each room has their own entrance to the side and a little bit more privacy as well, because we split the balconies. So you don't necessarily have to talk to the neighbor if you don't want to, but you can of course go around if you would like. And moving into the room itself, these are brand new beds and frames and new design with the throw pillows and the standard pillows in the back there. And then you can also see the kitchenette unit that we renovated, and we'll get to in a second. Also, we added a working desk with a charging station, so you have USB and also Type-C there as well, right below the television. And that's for anybody who wants to get some work done, especially those work from home people. And this is a wider view of the room. And I just want to make note of the AC, because these used to be fan-cooled rooms, and now we got rid of the louver windows, and so now it's completely sealed up, if you will, with, as far as the windows go, brand new windows. And also want to bring attention to the ceilings. So the ceilings used to be flat, and now we brought them up to an apex to give a little bit more room and make it feel a little bit more spacious, but still maintain the coziness. And also bringing some more attention to the far right corner of the kitchenette that we have, and we'll get to that in a second, and also the newly renovated bathroom. So we basically gutted this entire place. Even the floor tiles are brand new as well. And this is another angle of the bed, and just want to bring some attention to the LED bed frame, as well as the embedded nightstands and lamps, and another view of the kitchenette, I should say. And as you can see, it has basically all the utensils and tools that you might need to cook a meal. Included is a mini Frigidaire down on the left, and a hot plate, coffee maker, ice bucket, all the knives and utensils that you may need to feed a small family. Not necessarily Thanksgiving dinner, but you can definitely chef it up in there, especially if you're staying for an extended period of time. This might be a perfect type of accommodation for you. And that essentially is the kitchen. And now moving on to the bathroom. And as I mentioned before, like floor to ceiling, new floor tiles, new ceiling tiles. Got the LED frame around the mirror just to give a little bit more lights. We changed out the square louver windows for the ship window, I guess you can call it. And we got the rainfall shower head and the glass frame shower door. Even the towel holders, those are all new. And again, trying to bring together everything in the room, the kitchenette, and to complete the cottage experience, if you will. So very happy and proud of how this was done, and really wanted to give a modern look and feel to this new room category, the cottage. And so also with this wide angle, want to bring attention to the closet. So you got some drawer space there, and you got some hanging space as well, and your safe, of course, and the ironing board is on the other side in between the closet and the window there. And yeah, another angle of the room. And also want to bring attention to that long standing mirror there, so full frame mirror. And that essentially is the bungalow. And this is kind of our way of paying homage to my dad and where he started from with this hotel, Travelers Beach Resort. Started right with one bungalow and grew to the 60-room resort that Travelers Beach Resort is now. And my dad hasn't seen it as yet physically. I think he's seen pictures and everything like that. So just want to share this renovation with you all. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. So back to our regularly scheduled program. All right, we are back. Hope you enjoyed the cottages there. That is like our newest renovation that we have going on, that we've completed, I should say. And got some funny comments. Andrew Mack says, do you say we get a discount if we mention Throb's channel? I did not say that. And then we have Democracy says, so when I book, can I get the Throb channel markup? Support should be markup, not discount. I like that. But no discount as far as I know. We didn't discuss that. Me and my brother said is. I will ask them. I will talk about it, I should say. But we like I said, again, if you're gonna stay here anyway, just mention Throb, and again, helps out the channel a lot. CB Stevens says, do the rooms have screens in the windows to keep out insects? So interesting, good question. So the rooms that we have louver windows. Louver, louvers are, yeah. And they have a net, they have a mesh over it, like you're saying. But we are actually in the process of changing out our louvers into, I don't know if they call them French windows, but like they're just glass windows, if you will. So all of our cottages, they have the glass window, and if you want to open your window, they have a mesh on it. But we're moving away because the louvers they're just inefficient, right? And they were fine back in the day, when my dad started, like not a problem. But with the rising cost of electricity, or just the high cost of electricity, I would say in Jamaica, not even rising, it's been high. They're just not efficient. So we're changing them out. And then also from a noise standpoint, like we've been really focusing on, me and my brothers, like we've been really focusing on the sleep quality, and obviously being in a quieter environment plays into the quality of your sleep. So everything from our bedding to our sheets to our pillows, we've been looking into all of that, and that also includes the windows, and the uh, windows being solid windows instead of the louvers. They're just more efficient in terms of AC and keeping the coolness in the room, but then also in terms of sound leaking into the room. So we're working on that. We're not there yet, but that also is a good opportunity to kind of get into ThropX, as a matter of fact, and because one of the things that was holding up the decision on what date or what week that we'd be choosing for ThropX was the renovations that we're going through. So as I told was mentioned before, we were doing a big renovation project from September to October, but we've had to scale it down, unfortunately, for a number of different reasons. But because the good thing about it, I guess the silver lining in it is that because we are not doing as big of a renovation as we initially anticipated, that allows us to do Drop X earlier in November. So I know I had mentioned, and this was like the hardest thing deciding, are we going to do Drop X during Thanksgiving week and then or the following week, which is Reggae Marathon week, which is a very, very busy week and weekend for Negril. And I was trying my best to avoid that as much as possible. So what we decided, because of the renovations, we're very confident that we can do it within 2 months and having little disruption that bleeds over into November. We're going to actually be doing ThropX from the weekend of the 18th of November. So I know a lot of people like to come in the weekend before. So we'll probably get a lot of people flying in on the Sunday. So I guess, yeah, we can call it from the Sunday, the 17th to the 22nd of November. So you can mark that in your calendars. That is the week that we're doing ThropX. We are, as I mentioned in the start of the stream, we are starting to make adjustments to the website. Now that we have a date, we'll put out a save a date in the next couple of days, which I'm very excited for. I know a lot of you are waiting for it. Like literally every week, multiple people text and email me about ThropX this year. Is it happening? What are the dates? And now I can officially say that that was the main thing, is like the business is first, really. We have to take, and I didn't want to move it from Travelers. Like I did not want to move it. That was like the main thing. I was looking into other locations and I was like, man, I just want everybody to be in one place, and to do the logistics of busing people back and forth. It was just kind of turning into like a headache. So I'm very glad that we were able to, again, I would have loved to do the renovations here at Travelers and the way that we originally planned it, but now we got to look at the silver lining, which is we're able to move ThropX and have ThropX here comfortably, and during a week that I think is good for everybody. That is everybody, being the hotel, being you all coming here, and I know most people are flying in for it, but we want to do. We're making a much greater effort to get more local people here. We had a lot of people come in locally from other parts of the island, which was awesome. We had so many people come in for the real estate tour, which was pretty much the most popular day. Oh, I guess the conferences were pretty popular, like getting the knowledge and information from these experts. But so many people just came out the woodworks for the tour, which I was so surprised at, because like we just sold the tour as a standalone option. So anyway, now we have dates. So we're looking at the week of the 18th of November. So Monday the 18th to the 22nd. Or sorry, let's go Sunday the 17th to the 22nd. We'll be putting up and adjusting the website shortly this week. Okay, so that's the ThropX announcement. And if you haven't signed up for the newsletter, please do that. Go to thropx.com. That information on there right now is old. Hold on, let me make sure that we didn't change anything before I give you wrong information. Okay, so yeah, the information on the website right now is dated, but you can sign up for the newsletter there. I'm putting it in the comment section there. And you can just click that, sign up for the newsletter, and in the top right-hand corner, I'll put the website there, thropx.com. Would love to have you join us. We will have virtual tickets available as well. Mosaic says, good dates. Thank you. I know this is so very, very concerning, getting the dates right. And I was like, most people voted for Thanksgiving week. I was like, what? How's this possible? And that would have been a very concerning, scary, scary week. But we would have to go with the data. You know, we have to trust the data. But I'm glad that we're doing it the week before. Man, Andrew Mack, you're on it. You're on it. Like this is the next thing I was going to talk about. This is absolutely the next thing I was going to talk about. So, um, hold on, let me be sure. So yeah, so Kai is in Jamaica. For those who don't know, Kai Sanat, he is the biggest live streamer in the entire world from New York, also Jamaican, and or at least his parents are Jamaican. I'm not sure. I feel like he was born in New York. Somebody can correct me on that, but he's Jamaican. He has Jamaican blood in him, and he is the biggest streamer in the world. And it's so awesome that he's in Jamaica and he's streaming and he's going around. And I hope he gets some other streamers to come here as well. I don't know if you know ISO Speed. He's another big streamer. These are young kids that are like 22 years old. I think they're in their early 20s, if I'm not mistaken. Started streaming in their late teens, and they've become these mega brands. And I mean, just doing ridiculously well. And I think it's just so awesome. He's Jamaican and he's in Jamaica and he's doing his live streams here. And the reason why, like, of course, I wanted to bring attention to that and the fact that he's here. Hope he comes to the grill. I think that would be amazing. The reason why I'm bringing that up is, see, I didn't know this. For Eva says Aiden Ross is in Jamaica as well. So these streamers, like they work together and they bring a tons and tons and tons of attention to wherever they are, wherever they are. And he, I wouldn't be surprised if ISO Speed comes in. So, sorry, did I get that right? He says he's Haitian and Trini. Are you talking about Kai? Are you talking about Kai? Are you talking about ISO Speed? The streamer is Kai Sanat. I think it's CENAT. Somebody put it in there for me, please. Kai Sanat and then ISO Speed. Those are the two I'm talking about. I swore his mother was Jamaican, but please, if I stand to be corrected there on that one. I'm talking about Kai specifically. And thank you. Everybody's telling me he's not Jamaican. Okay, I could get that. I could have that wrong. Apologies. But the main reason why I wanted to bring this up and he's here is like there is a crazy, and I don't know if everybody is seeing this, like there is a crazy amount of attention in the YouTube streaming influencer world coming to Jamaica like I've never seen before. And there is another big YouTuber that I'm actually I've been in touch with who's coming to Jamaica as well. I'm not gonna say who it is, but I know so many of you know who they are. But like I've never seen this before. Like the amount of attention that these YouTubers and now streamers are bringing to Jamaica, and I'm like, what is going on here? Um, and I don't know, like and I'd love to get your insight and anybody's thoughts on this, as to why this is happening now. I think I started to see it, and I'm not sure if like this is who should get the credit for it, but I started seeing it specifically with the African YouTubers who've been coming here in the last few months. And they've kind of like one after the other have moved here, and then they've kind of just become very, I think, from what I've seen from their content, very integrated into the culture and into the society, and they love it here, and they've been accepted in very large ways. And I think it's like so crazy, so crazy. Sorry, Jamaica. So I got this wrong. Kai is not Jamaican. Jamaica says Haitian dad, Trini mom, Kai Sanat. Thank you very much for the clarity. Appreciate it. So not Jamaican. But Kai's bringing a lot of attention here. Aiden Ross, he's another very, very controversial streamer as well. But he's a top streamer as well in that space. It's just so interesting that this is happening. And I don't know. I think Jamaica is going to get a lot. I mean, this is great. The amount of eyeballs, and like this is like one of the main inspirations for starting this channel is like, how can we get more eyeballs? And I always say like, like I'm in a YouTube WhatsApp group. It's like we want to get as many eyeballs on Jamaica as possible. And it's like the more of us are creating content as YouTubers and influencers or whatever you want to call us that live here, is creating more content, so more eyeballs get here in whatever capacity. That could be in the capacity of investing, that could be in the capacity of coming here to visit the culture and creating maybe some FOMO. I don't know, or maybe like, hey, I haven't been home in a while. Jamaica content is coming out. So I just think it's so dope that like this is happening, but it's also like, what is going on? What is happening here? What is happening here? And again, I feel like, at least when I started paying attention, it was really the African YouTubers, and I wonder like, hey, what initially attracted them here, or like why are they doing this now? What is happening? And I think this is amazing, and I hope as a country we can really capitalize on this, not take it for granted. Um, I think awesome. Let's get into the comments here. And it says a lot of YouTubers, non-Jamaicans that come to Jamaica, a lot of them from Jamaican content. Jamaica is a cow for many YouTubers that are not Jamaica. Hopefully, local will benefit. Yeah, so I noticed that too. Thank you for bringing that up. So I am I'm a student of the game. I'm a student of the game. I study analytics like crazy. I study analytics of other channels, so many channels, even channels that are not even in my category, because I'm always here to learn, always here to get an understanding. And I feel like just in life in general, like you can learn from anybody. And what I was seeing and what I was observing is like when I was looking at some of these channels and I look at the content and like the views that they were getting on previous locations and previous videos, their Jamaica content blows it out the water completely. And you've even seen some non-Jamaicans come to Jamaica, do content, do fabulous, leave, go to another country, and then they come back. And maybe they're coming back because they've overstayed and they don't want to overstay their visa or whatever. But what remains true is like their Jamaica content is for sure blowing out the water the previous content that they're doing. So there's something for sure about Jamaica that people are very, very much interested in. Is it the Bob Marley movie? I don't know. Is it because the Olympics are coming up? Is it the culture that we already have here that which I think is a large part of it? But the fact that it's happening now here, 2024, second quarter of 2024, it's just interesting, And I don't know, can't really necessarily put my finger on the pulse and say, that's what it is. That's why they're here. This is why this is happening now. So, but it's interesting. But without a doubt, as a data point, Shanna, like great point, and I observed this a while back. It is for sure their views are so much higher than previous locations and previous videos that they did. And then, of course, with views comes money, right? And I ain't mad at it. I think it's great. I think it's bringing attention here. But it's like, how does Jamaica capitalize on that in a strong way? I think from the eyeballs, yes. Are the locals benefiting? I don't know. I think in some ways, I think, you're showing off different, some of them are showing off different, what you call it, different restaurants, different businesses. They're shouting out where they're staying. I think that's good. Hopefully those places get business and people go there because their favorite influencer or favorite YouTuber stayed there. So I think in that sense, and they have influence. I've even as small as this channel, as small as our channel is here, there are people told me that they've gone to places specifically because I went there. They did. Oh man, I don't want to say her name, but like this one subscriber, I think was warmed my heart. Honestly, they did the Throp tour. They went to all these different places in Negril that I've mentioned on my live stream, and they went to this restaurant and that restaurant. Sometimes just to go there to take a picture. I was like, this is amazing. This is amazing. So I can imagine for these folks who have a much larger following than I do, and maybe even more of a cult-like following, I would say some of them, they're going to direct or redirect business and interest to locations and businesses that they have gone to. So I hope I presume that that is going to be the case. Larry T says, "Bring me into the live. I can speak on this." I don't know how to do that. Bundy says, "True. A lot of African YouTubers coming here. Absolutely. Everyone says it's the U.S. travel advisory. Yeah, this is definitely a slap in the face to that travel advisory because again, you're having the some of the most influential people on this earth coming to Jamaica. Three of them are Americans. Sorry, two of them are Americans, and it's I don't know. I think it's great. I think people are gonna say like, "What are you talking about? That we're still under this BS travel advisory now, and they're gonna be live streaming from here and they're showing their experience, right?" Um, Joe says, "I'm clearly not that cool. I just had to Google who is Kai." So Joe, I don't know if you've on your Google search there. He's the guy who shut down New York City last year when he went to Union Square, like just kind of unannounced, just showed up to give away PS5 or whatever it is. I don't know what PS that's on right now, but he went there to give these things away. And he literally shut down New York City. He ended up getting arrested for it because there's certain things that you need to put in place if you're going to be, of celebrity status and going to be there. It was crazy, crazy, crazy. But that's Kai. Nasser Yard says lots of African YouTubers going to JA. I love to see that. Jamaicans need to go to Africa also. We're doing that. We're doing that in June. So we're going to be going. We're doing that. I'm going to Africa in June with a bunch of Jamaicans. So we're going to flip the script on them. So thank you for that, Natural Yard. Andrew Max says we don't need Andrew Tate endorsing Jamaica. Nope. Blazer fan need to get the delightful travelers to Negril. I don't think they've been to Jamaica. I don't know who that is. I'm gonna look that up. So just like looking that up right now. Cool. I got that on my browser there. Sweet Feather says, saw this info on Jamaican IG streamers and good afternoon, Throp and everyone. Thank you for being here. Andrew Tate said he isn't coming back to Jamaica. Okay. Oren says, Throp, absolutely. The Jamaican landscape has changed economically. I heard Fantasia, the singer, says Jamaica is her favorite place to visit. Oh, yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Parisian Immortal, he had his back on the wall at a party. He was afraid. We're talking about Kai, I think. Andrew Max says, do you know what Andrew Tate represents, dude? What are you talking about? I don't know. I guess you guys have in convo. Nacho Yard says, Jamaica is a name brand and there's a lot of money to be made in Jamaica. I think so. Jamarki says, I saw you and Bless Up Jess. Yeah, we connected. And like even with Bless Up Jess, I'll finish your comment, the end of your comment in a sec. Even with Bless Up Jess, right? She is somebody, she was here last year and she came here and she's like growing like so fast and exponentially. And I think for sure, like, give her like tons and tons of credit. I think like this is one of the main things that attracted me to her and having her on my channel and me going on her channel is like she's very genuine and I feel very transparent experience and everything like that. But also it's like this I hope it's not a trend, like because trends just go and come, right? But there's this high level of interest in Jamaica in general. So the subject of her content is interesting to begin with. She's traveling around Jamaica, a solo female, right? And so it's just, man, there is this my point in saying is like there is this great momentum that is happening in this space, and it's just so interesting at this time. And again, I don't know why now, but it is happening and it's here and we're in the middle of it, and I can feel it and I can see it. As soon as I saw Kai here, I was like, what? I saw him this morning, not physically, but on YouTube. I was like, this is crazy. This is crazy. So many people are coming here. And again, there's another big YouTuber that I'm in touch with. And as soon as I'm able to announce and let you know who it is, and I know most of you know who they are, but Again, great interest in there. Okay, anyway, democracy, finishing your comment. Dee Mwango just returned to Jamaica and she brought another Kenyan blogger with her. There you go. Another example of that. Oh, shoot, I lost the comment. Oh, here we go. Zoe Simpson says Jamaica serves as a safe haven for people of color, especially with the uncertainty surrounding Trump. Given the circumstances, people of color may seek refuge closer to home. Great point. Shayna, shut up. Eyeballs are cool. There's can be a thin line between exploration voice versus exploitation, depending on the presentation of the content or Jamaica local benefiting. Great, great, great point. Shanna, to kind of just kick it back to you. What would you like to see directly in an ideal world for these folks who are coming to Jamaica and are benefiting in a real way? Like I said, you can see it analytically just comparing views. Like they're doing exceptionally well compared to other places, and as they should be. And I personally again think what they're doing for Jamaica in terms of presenting it to their very large audiences, I think it's going to inspire a lot of people to come here and to visit and to see what it's like for themselves because their favorite influencers are doing it, right? And I think it's awesome. So yeah, I would like to hear like what would you like to see in terms of locals benefiting directly from it. Oren says Airbnb is booming. The friendliness of our people and people see the place as just a nice place to relax, despite people here saying nothing. Nagwan, the future is bright for Jamaica. I agree. And to a part of your point is again watching these guys and gals, I should say, content. Um, they're immediately accepted. It's like one of those things. It's like if you're African, oh my gosh, I think it's so amazing. I did a collaboration with I was gonna say Jamaican tigress with African tigress who's from Kenya and she's traveling around the world on a Kenyan passport, trying to hit every country in the world on her Kenyan passport. Amazing. But even watching her content, like automatically accepted, and it's just like it's almost like on a higher level. And I think it's just so awesome. It's like giving me goosebumps to even talk about it. That we as a people recognize our our heritage and where we come from, and having our brothers and sisters come from the motherland here, and we accept them and we treat them with the utmost respect and dignity, and helping them in the biggest of ways. I mean, it's just like, yo, from Africa, awesome. And it's just like, man, we got to take care of you. Like this, I'm seeing this like right across all of these guys' channels. Um, and I think it's amazing. And I think it's amazing that we are opening our arms to them. And I'm sure going to Africa, it's the same thing. I'm sure. At least I've only been to South Africa, but the people who I've told that I'm from Jamaica, I mean, they were just like, welcome, welcome, welcome. And even like just being black there, they're like, welcome home, straight up. African American, welcome home. So I think that's awesome. Sweet Feather says also Lisa Hanna has written a few articles on op-eds in the Gleaner and her social media pages. I must have missed your comment above. I'm not sure the reference here, Sweet Feather. If you can clarify that for me. Joe says Jamaica is very popular majority black country that is very close to the USA, much closer than traveling to Africa. Good point. Claire T says it's a cultural connection. More money in Africa helps them move around to discover their people. America is not the only place living well. Jamaica has a combination of old world, African, and new. Andrew Mack says, excuse my French drop, but Jamaica is and has been the ish everyone wants to visit. I agree. I agree. I mean, we already know, like, I mean, we're in so many ways, like we create culture, we set the trend globally, and I mean the impact culturally around the world coming from such a small island and small nation is crazy. It's just uneven, unbalanced. But facts, Andrew. Facts, facts, facts. Zoe Simpson says Jamaica offers everything: grit, authenticity, freedom from political correctness and woke culture, an escape from the sterile world to experience raw reality. Damn, I like that. Bars, bars. Calligraphy says, Throp, I've wondered too about the surge in YouTubers. I give them credit for linking up with Jamaican YouTubers struggling to get subscribers. Yeah, I think that's awesome. Same, same. I think that's a good way too, is the collaboration aspect, right? And so if you get these folks with like millions of subscribers or even hundreds of thousands, and they're collaborating with like small Jamaican YouTubers, oh my gosh, or even large ones, it's just getting eyeballs, getting more and more eyeballs on Jamaica, and like it helps build that audience, especially if they're building like good, high quality, heartfelt, value driven content, Jamaicans that is, and then you combine that with someone with a larger platform. I think long term, thumbs up, because like I said, more eyeballs on Jamaica, more eyeballs of people considering moving here, investing here, living here, visiting here, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I think it's gonna really move that economic ticker. Orange says, "We are probably the most loved Black country. The people, culture, the food, and the overall vibe. You do not allow anyone to fool you about crime. Crime is gang and domestic related." Well said. Punty says, "Drop, it's good and bad. Is Jamaican people going to benefit financially from this? Those YouTubers are definitely benefiting culturally from it. I hope they're spending money here." I think so. I mean, they have to be spending money here, right? Obviously eating, Kai is rolling with a large crew, and he's the biggest streamer, so he has to move differently from everybody else in terms of security, his crew that he's with, where he's staying. I mean, it goes without saying. It goes without saying. Like they definitely they're spending money. Sweet Feather says Jamaica is part of the Yucatan commercial trade area, even historically. Andrew Mack says this isn't a now thing. People have always found Jamaica appealing. It's just that now lots of people, especially Black Americans, are traveling more. No, I agree. I agree with the sentiment, Andrew. It's more like why the influencers, why the YouTubers, why the largest in the world now. That's kind of my open question here. It just says the topic of Jamaica has always been a highlight. It's nice to see the authentic connection of the African influencers. So, yeah, I trust me, that warms my heart. Or Eva says, when you think English speaking Caribbean, you think Jamaica, hence the interest. Gotcha. King Nala says Jamaican content are the most sought after, but more importantly, they make more money because people in the West watch Jamaican content a high level. Showing off the ghettos is exploitation to me. Mm, yeah, yeah, yeah. I can see that. I can see that. I can see that. I can see that. Kaichi says Black people are desperately trying to connect with each other after awakening. Sherdine says Throp Jamaica is magical. I took my kids home with me a couple of months. They told, "Don't you ever go back to Jamaica with us?" They are so in love with Jamaica. Uh, I did not take them to the beach. Oh, that's awesome. I'm happy to hear that. I am Marwa, have been coming for a couple of years. His sister Dimongo is back in Jamaica with her friend Shorn Arwa. Maya has also said for years that she wanted to visit Jamaica. Awesome. Joe says, "Oh, that's the guy. Yeah, that's the guy. He's the guy who shut down New York City. That's the guy. That's right." Raven says, "Bob Marley, Shaggy, Sean Paul, Beanie Man, Usain Bolt, etc. put us on the map." Absolutely. Absolutely. Sweet Feather says Jamaica is not old world Africa. It's Arawak in origin, culture, food, language, music, customs. Zoe Simpson says in Jamaica, being Black isn't viewed negatively. Instead, Black people are treated with respect and dignity. It's one of the few places where race isn't an issue, embodying the spirit of one love. Well said. More bars, Zoe. More bars. I like it. Steve Stevens says when they issue travel advisories, that's the best time to go to that country. Yes, so. It says this June, and you didn't tell us, Drop. Yeah, sorry, I forgot. We're going in June. We're going to Africa in June, doing a tour. I don't know the full itinerary, but flying into Nairobi to start it off, and flying out of Cape Town. Flying out of Cape Town. Andrew Mack says, "Why are Jamaicans upset about the U.S. travel advice? Should the U.S. government not inform and advise their citizens traveling abroad?" It's, I would say, I'm upset because it's inaccurate. It's actually stupid. It's actually really, really dumb. They When you look at, there's so many contradicting, and I meant to post this in my community tab. There's so many contradicting aspects of this advisory, and I would highly recommend watching Jamaica with Irie's video on this. She did a masterful job on just how idiotic this travel advisory. There was nothing that happened that warranted this advisory. And that's the main thing. There's the main thing is like as soon as I start talking about the travel advisory, like they cut me off. They're listening. They're listening. I promise. All right, we're back. Sorry, the power cut out. The power cut out. Hold on, I think we're good to go. All right, let me get back up to. Oh man, I'm behind in comments. Yeah, so just talking about the travel advisory, right? So just watch Jamaica with Irie's video. She does a really awesome job in breaking down the silliness of it, which I already knew, and it just be prepared for your blood to boil a little bit in listening to it. All right, let's keep rolling here. Jamaica is so dangerous. JetBlue cut domestic flights here in the U.S. and increasing flights to Jamaica. I heard about that. How would Trump be received if he came to Jamaica? I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, from a political standpoint, he'd obviously be welcomed as a U.S. president. There's no, I don't doubt that. But outside of that, I don't know. I have no idea. I can't comment on that one. Blazer fan says delightful travelers are a Canadian couple that live in DR that travel around the delightful traveler says travel around the Caribbean. I think they would love to grill as they love beaches and beach bars right on the sand. Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna look into them. Hold on one sec. Gonna make sure. Okay. All right, let's get to some more comments here. I am MJ876. They're staying in hotels and Airbnbs and restaurants are the market. So locals are benefiting somehow. Some of the African YouTubers come to Jamaica because of reggae. The beach. Julia for Justice says, hit that like button. Please do. Definitely helps out a ton. Sorry, 1 second here. Making sure everything is on stream. Okay, yeah, we're good. Coming to Jamaica is like going to Africa for us. Philly Yardy drop by says, stop the Trump derangement syndrome, please. I see you watching too much CNN. I don't know if you're talking to me or somebody else. Someone says, I believe it's the level of comfort they feel in Jamaica compared to the rest of the world, especially for Africans. It's familiar to them when they get here. Yeah, I see that. Like a lot of their content, they say they feel right at home. Especially when you see them more like countryside and that sort of thing. A few of them have come to Negril, from what I've seen as well. But I think that's awesome, and I think that's great that they feel at home here. It's amazing. Hillary says, "Drop. Have you ever checked out Mark Ween's food vlogs? His Jamaican vlogs range from 3 to 8 million views. It's crazy. Yeah. I saw that. He was in Montego Bay. Um, he's awesome. I've been following him for years, for years, for years, for years. I love his food vlogs. Sweet Feather says those roots are indigenous cultures of the people of that specific land, though the idea of the diaspora that makes indigenous cultures in other lands African was a doctrine made up in the 60s. Simone says it's almost like they're shouting from the rooftops, hey, come here, it's just like home. Clarity says Africa has been unavailable to the rest of the world. Respect comes from where all originated. Joshua says, Throp, do you ever speak patois? And do you ever get treated differently coming from foreign? Patois, it'll come out randomly every now and then, but not like it's not part of my personal communication skills. But every now and then it'll come out. It just comes out. I don't think about it. It just comes out. Do I get treated differently coming from foreign? Mm, yeah, I would say like more so. Like overall, my general answer is like no. I don't feel like I do, but I would say more so people like if I'm working like say with a new contractor or something like that, they just think that I don't know what the deal is, or maybe I just got here yesterday and it's just like, dude, I've been doing projects and construction almost 20 years in Jamaica. Yeah, yeah, you're not gonna beat me. You're not gonna beat me over my head. I know what's what. I know how to mix cement. I know, I know a lot. I'm not gonna say I know everything, but I know a lot. But you're not gonna be just because I have an American accent, you're not gonna get over on me. So in that sense, some people will try that, but less so because I've been here for so long and like I have my team and I have people that I work with on a regular basis. But again, if it's like a new person, new project, new situation, they'll try. Somebody might try to take advantage of me, but I'm intimately aware of the culture here and how it works and doing business here. So I would say that would be the only time that I could possibly think of. But other than that, nah, I don't feel like I'm being treated very differently. Like, yeah, I'm definitely a Yankee. There's no question about that. I I know that, but I feel very very at home and very comfortable here in a strong way. Democracy says African Tigers is also backstar her carnival early. Oh, I didn't know that. That's awesome. I didn't know that. Shanna says, Throp, I have no issues with well-known YouTubers exploring Jamaica on the surface when things look like a trend and people jumping on the bandwagon. I'm just taking a closer look if there's an incentive. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Oren says, I heard when Jamaicans visit places like Ghana, they are welcome like they are royalty. I've heard the same. The term African diaspora was coined in the 70s by Dr. Moreno Vega. Sister, hold my hand. We are coming down for this festival in Black River in June. Cannot wait. Want to see different parts of Jamaica this time. Awesome. What festival is that? Sreen Wealth says yes. Jamaican uncle, a vlogger, has also been staying with I am Amarwa at his villa. Another Kenyan who is also Dimwango's brother. Punty says, Throp Western people are both afraid of and in love with Jamaicans living and going to school in England and the northern parts of Toronto, Canada. Schoolmates would follow me around. Yeah, I forget which comedian said it, but oh man, was it yeah, it's the Indian Canadian comedian. Somebody help me with it. But he was just talking about like growing up how Jamaicans were like the coolest people and he just always wanted to be like them and wanted to talk like them and stuff like that. So to your point, Punty, to your point. Shanna says, "Stop. If YouTube encouraged to aid to tourism or fund our fee to ensure there's some kickback on Jamaicans and are whether in the back end, not solely monetary, they are supporting locals directly." Okay, I like that. I just want to see your thoughts on that on how Jamaica could benefit directly and locals could benefit directly. Punty says, "Drop and ask me about Jamaicans since their relatives went on their vacation. I had to give away all my Rasta belts to them." That's awesome. Dosi Joe says, "Change my mind, Throp. I think someone with your skills could actually make a difference in politics." No way. No way. Nah, I would never go into politics. Not gonna happen. Sweet Feather says, "All do not originate." Okay, talking about. Sorry, you're talking about a lot of origination. We're gonna keep moving with that. For Evis to Throp, it looks like the statements came for Carnival apparently. Sorry, these streamers came for Carnival apparently. Oh, okay. That makes sense. This talking about the live streamers. That makes a lot of sense. I am not in the Carnival bubble at all. I said this before. Soca's not my favorite music. I'm gonna keep it real, but I think that's great. But the Africans have been here, and I don't know if they're the ones who are driving this. That is kind of my thesis. That's my thesis. Well, it makes sense. Ovio Roach says, "Bless up, Throb. Your podcast came across my feed this morning. Watched a few of your videos. Definitely loved the content. Plus, you got a new subscriber. Thank you so much, Ovio. Appreciate you." Zoe says Jamaica has that it factor. I agree. IMJ876. When I was in the Gambian Senegal last summer and Ghana 2019, I was lovingly welcomed. Amazing. Happy to hear. Sunny says I enjoyed the interview. Jess, awesome. Thank you for watching. Sister, hold my hand. Jamaica does not have a class issue though. Oh, sorry. Jamaica does have a class issue. Yeah. I think that's well documented. That's well documented for sure. Catherine Spencer says, "What is the situation with the water?" I talked about that at length in the beginning of this stream. So if you want to scrub back and give it a listen, you can do that. Blazer Fan says, "Improvements at the Montego Bay MBJ Airport are nice with the e-gates, no lines at immigration at all. Scan your passport at one of the kiosks and answer a few questions, then go to the e-gate." Awesome. I haven't done it, but I've seen pictures and I've heard about it. So I guess when I come back, hopefully I get to experience that. I am MJ876 says, "I've met Africans that thought that Jamaica was in Africa. It's not easy for African YouTubers to travel to Jamaica. They have to get visas through US or UK." Yeah. And so, yeah, you're right. They've gone to a lot of effort to be here. I think that's awesome. Damian Robinson says, "The advisory never made sense. Crime has been trending down in a few months before an international agency ranked Jamaica as one of the safest in the world." Yeah. Jamaica with Irie goes into great detail on those points that you just made, Damien. Jamarki says, "Oh, you saw Irie's video and how she broke down that copy and paste travel advisory. She didn't. She did a fantastic job." Yeah, I saw that. That was hilarious. That was hilarious. There was watch it. I don't want to spoil it for you if you haven't seen it. Natalie says, "I just wondered why the advisory gained traction and stuck like it did. Wasn't stopping me from coming." Yeah, and like even in Irie's video, she goes into like the news reports and like they look like idiots. Like when you put everything together, like how she did. I mean, she just used their own words against them. She didn't really have to do much. I mean, she did great journalistic reporting, but she really put it all together in a way that you can just kind of see how things lined up. Very silly. King Nalo says the authentic content coming out of Jamaica, like cooking on the banks of the river, is very appealing to foreign viewers, so much so that a lot of foreign vloggers are copying the same approach. Yeah, it is. And it's so lovely. I mean, doing that stuff like that is Jamaica in such a big way. I remember my dad used to have these monthly cookouts in White House, like just like really right on the beach or yeah, right on the beach. Nothing fancy at all. Literally like some stones, some wood, and a pot, some music, and everybody chilling, enjoying the weather, having a good time. And it's so simple, it's just like, oh, and then everybody used to come from all over Jamaica, from Kingston, obviously here in Negril, and we should go out there and literally just drink some soup, cook some fish, roast some fish, have a few drinks for a couple of hours, and then go back home. And it's just so amazing and awesome to do that. And you just come, everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome. Nobody's gonna starve. You want something, come have a piece of fish, come have some goat, come have some soup. Yeah, it's really awesome. Now this is power went off for a minute on the West End. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. That's why I cut out. Steve Stevens says, "Can you imagine if Jamaica had women like the CR?" I was gonna leave that right there. How are you gonna address that? If I had read it before, I probably wouldn't have read it. I gotta Got to see these things before I read it. Just did it again. Orange says Steve Stevens. Oh God, good Lord Almighty, will be trouble. All right, let's keep it moving here. Leave it for you guys to deal with that. I am MJ876. Some Africans only know of Jamaica in the Caribbean. What's not to love about Jamaica? Jamaica has always been on the world stage, whether through music, sports, food, beaches, etc. Zoe Simpson says Trump is an awful person. Let's never forget that. Just gonna leave that there as well. Michael Allen says, "Is it's the hotel getting all the water? It's all about the haves and the have-not." Simple argument. Like I said earlier, like the hotels are suffering as well. Like don't be fooled. Like again, there are many hotels in the last few weeks that have completely ran out of water, with thousands of visitors coming to the island expecting that they would have running water. Granted, the residents have been without water for an extended period of time, and hence why we're bringing so much attention to it and wanting to get them water ASAP. But yeah, we're all suffering. We're all suffering from this, you know, in big ways. And I just want to be abundantly clear about that. Now he says I've met locals who love that block of cheese, but whatever. It's so out of context. Sweet Feather says, so does your patois come out when you are angry or macking or both? What kind of questions are these? Definitely neither. Not macking, that doesn't really happen at all. And then angry, very hard to get me angry to begin with. Very hard to get me angry. I can't remember last time I was angry. Like really angry. But it more so comes out like in casual conversation, or if like, and it's always talking to another Jamaican. Always, and it'll come out in just like spurts. Just, again, it's not. I don't really think about it. Andrew Max says, "Drop. Don't even speak Brooklyn." Zoe Simpson says, "Everyone has Trump amnesia syndrome. I'll never forget what it was like being black under Trump." Oh boy. I know exactly. I know what you mean, but we'll leave that there. King Nala says, "I'm old enough to remember Trump coming to Flatbush, Brooklyn, with Mike Tyson and hanging with black people and buying ice cream, delivering toys for black kids. So logo him racist nuts." Wait, going down the political realm, we're gonna bring it back. We're gonna bring it back here. I'm gonna let you guys talk. Oh, thank you, clarity. Russell Peters. That's who said. That's the comedian that I was referencing. Indian Canadian comedian who is saying how cool he thought Jamaicans were when he was growing up. Shardine says, I think once they find out Jamaica is not only beaches, the people, the rivers, the falls, the food, the culture, why wouldn't they come? There you go. Thank you, Shannon, for the Russell Peters. Chartree House says, I'm a Trini, US born. Jamaica's economic profile is rising, a potential threat to US hegemony. Remember invasion of Grenada and Maurice Bishop's murder when it announced building its own airport. Yes, Irie. Mosaic says, never say never. I've learned that the hard way. Talking about me getting into politics. Not gonna happen. Sister Hold My Hand says the organizer, I think, are the Commonwealth Book Winner 2023 and the repat Dr. Ava Brown. She has an epic story and has traveled the world sharing it. Black River looks a bit like Negril with Beach. Talking about the event that she's going to later this year. Democracy says, it's true, when I attended middle school in New York, fresh from Yad, with patois, the girls would form a circle around me every day for me to speak patois for them. They were so fascinated with my accent. There you go. Oh man, democracy. Kill it. Natalie Holmes says, Irie's video was perfect response to the advisory. Agree. Andrew Mack says, stop it, guys. Crime in Jamaica among the highest in the world. Our healthcare system sucks for everyday Jamaicans. Y'all are being biased. It's not unpatriotic to tell the truth. I mean, I will say crime is, like somebody said it before, crime in Jamaica is trending down. There's no question about it. Crime against tourists is amongst the lowest in the world, amongst visitors. It's under 1%. Like, that is a fact. So again, if you're coming here to visit, you will have no clue that we have the domestic issues that we have, and the crimes, at least the major crimes that are happening in Jamaica, large majority, unfortunately, are domestic. These aren't crimes of opportunity. It's not like, you're walking down the street and I'm not saying this doesn't happen, but I'm just saying it's not like you're walking down the street and somebody is coming and robbing you, taking your purse off you, taking your chain off your neck. Again, I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but it's not happening at alarming rates. It's not happening every day. It's not happening in a regularly. Again, the major crimes that are happening, the large majority of them are between family, between community members. It's something. It's mostly that. If you're coming here to visit, you have not a clue, and that doesn't, and that's irrespective if you're staying at an all-inclusive hotel or you're staying at a small local hotel like Travelers or something like that. Healthcare system, yeah, yeah, improvement for sure, for sure. We talk about this all the time. There's a lot of investment being made in our healthcare system and in our hospitals. A lot, a lot, a lot. And that's something that I wanna, in the future of this channel, like I wanna dive deep, deep into the healthcare system in Jamaica in a big way. In a big way. I started to do it a little bit a couple of years ago, but got distracted with this whole real estate thing. But that's one of the main things, one of the main topics I want to get into, and learn a lot more about, learn where the country is heading in that. Like we hear about the headlines with the investments in these major hospitals, the improvements, the building of new ones, etc. But it's going to take time. It's going to take time, to get these things up to quote unquote first world levels. And I believe we are definitely heading in that direction. Again, a lot of these things I believe are short term issues and short term challenges that we're facing currently. Let's see. Jazzy Tower says it was called We Run a Boat when I was a oh, it was called We Run a Boat when I was a kid, cooking outdoors and a bunch of people contributing to buying the food, congregating, having a good time. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it was with my dad. And with his friends, like somebody would bring the lobster, somebody would bring the fish, somebody would bring the music, somebody would cook ingredient, like somebody would bring the Heineken, somebody bring the hard liquor, the red stripes, all of that, and that's what it was about. Good times, good times. And that happens like so regularly in Jamaica. And if you show up as a stranger and you just buck up on it, then you're gonna get a plate, you're gonna get a cup of soup. Steve Stevens says crime in Canada is on the rise, especially in Toronto. No travel advisory, though. Very interesting. Very interesting. Joe says there's no way you can live in Jamaica for 18 years and not have patois come out your daily combos. Yeah, every day it comes out. Every day it comes out. There's almost nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do about it. Patois comes out naturally when not feeling self-conscious, when relaxed and in the flow. It comes out naturally. I think that's what it is. Like if you're like, hey, throw out speak Patois, I'm like, not gonna happen. Not gonna happen because you start thinking about it. But like if I'm just talking, out with friends and just flowing, it's gonna flow. Calligraphy. Okay, Throb, repeat after me. Manat chat patois. That's the best I got. If you're gonna put a gun to my head. Zoe says, yes, that's how we're caught ice cream food and hanging with the best of the breed in boxing. We don't all have Mike Tyson's story. Natalie says, looks like the rain wanted everyone to have the beach view for today's live. It can come on down in an hour or so, and everyone will be happy. Yeah. Good weather today. No rain, right? But we need the rain. We need the rain. We're in a drought, but for the sake of the stream, at least you guys got a nice beach view today. King Nala says the U.S. foreign policy in black countries like Jamaica is beyond racist. In 1996, Clinton forced the World Trade Organization to ban Jamaican bananas imports in favor of his donor from Mexico. Shaking my head. Is that how we lost the banana trade? I always wondered. I thought it was like our fault. Like that's what I was told. Interesting. I had no idea. Thank you for that, King Naldo. I am MJ. There are 7 countries warn their citizens when traveling to the US, France, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, UK, Venezuela, and Uruguay. Dosi says, I lived in Negril for 10 years. The same conversations are still going on. Crime, water, sewage, schools, and real medical facilities for common people. Everyone have a nice day. Throp is the best. Thank you. Thank you. TNK, the travel advisory is not to compare countries, is about warning people about our realities because embassy doesn't babysit. Yeah, but I think with this current advisory, the reality versus the advisory is it's not equitable. Doesn't make any sense. There was the last travel advisory that I remember when we were in state of emergency and we were up one notch or one level above. I understood that. I got that. I was just like, okay, that makes sense. I understand. It's unfortunate, but I understand. This one, nobody understands. There's nothing that happened. There's no data to show that there is you're in imminent danger if you come here. Like none of that, none of that. So that's where I would say, people are, at least that's where I'm upset. I'll talk for myself. That's where I'm just like, what is this? Where is this coming from? I don't understand. I literally don't understand it. That's the main thing. Shardine says, I find it fascinating that people who talk the worst about Jamaica are Jamaicans. If you don't like Jamaica, then leave the ones who are trying to make it better. Agreed. And in talking with Jamie Gruber, I referenced him earlier. He does what I do for the DR. He's originally from the States, white guy living in a DR. His wife is Dominican, and he says the same thing. Like he doesn't get it. Like the the hate or the bad mind that comes is all from Dominicans who are living in the diaspora. Mostly, it's people who don't live in the Dominican Republic, and like they talk so badly about the DR. So this is not unique, and like that's what made me realize, like when we were trading notes, it's like all these people that are just trashing their own homeland are who are trashing DR are Dominicans, and it's like crazy. It's crazy, and like the same thing with Jamaica. Not unique at all. It's mostly Jamaicans who are living abroad. Um, some in Jamaica too, but like what I find is like that it's mostly people who are not here that talk very very badly about Jamaica, and maybe they're just kind of getting their information and their sources, news sources from one specific, one specific source. I don't know. RN2CEO says, yes, enhancing and improving the healthcare system in Jamaica will be a big decision making for those looking to reside in Jamaica. And I think not just, yes, for Jamaicans who are coming here, who've lived for abroad, who've made their money, who are want to retire here, who have a decent amount of disposable income and could pay for their healthcare outright here in Jamaica. I think they're for sure in a better position already, and then having an elevated healthcare system that we're investing in now is going to further that as well. However, like when we look at the healthcare for your average Jamaican, like improving the facilities and the care of the health of residents and the average Jamaican, it's going to save us so much money, and it's going to be a less of a burden on the system. And it's not just about the improvement in the facilities, but it's also about the improvement in the system itself and how people move through the system, how it's documented, and elevating the um, I would say the skill set of the folks in the healthcare system, like right across the board. And I'm not just talking about doctors and nurses. I'm talking about like secretaries, heads of hospitals, all of these things, all the logistics that go into running uh, a good hospital, a good health facility, and like all of that needs to be upgraded. And I think we are upgrading. We are moving in that direction in a very, very, very big way. I also think that there is well, I don't know if you know, like there's a global shortage of nurses, but like I think that's quite not obvious, but common knowledge. But getting more people and more professionals into the healthcare system, I think that's gonna help. and just having more people that can help people is going to help. So a lot of that is being like things are being put in place and invested from now. And like I said earlier, I think we're going to feel the benefits of this in the future. I am MJ876. Says I saw an article this week saying Jamaican's economy is in the positive. It is in a huge way. Like nobody's talking about that. I read an article from the Financial Times in the UK or London. I forget the name of it. Talking about that exactly that breaking down like quantitatively, analytically, like where Jamaica was, where we are now, and where we're going. And I think, and a lot of that is not being talked about, or at least that is not being talked about in a significant and meaningful way. At least in my opinion, at least. King Dollar says Jamaica was the first country to export bananas commercially. Heck, that's how um, come the banana boat song was derived from. The banana boat song was derived from in Portland, Jamaica. Nowadays, there are no more banana farms thanks to Clinton. Damn, I didn't know that. That's a shame. That's a real shame. I don't know if we're. I wish we could get something like that back. I think that would make a big difference in our economy. Just manufacturing in general and exports in general. Democracy says the neglect of the 90s to 2000s is the reason we are in the situation we are currently in. Healthcare crime. The government now has the fiscal space to invest procurement and expertise, not holding us. Thorpe, do your brothers speak Patois better than you? No, I would say I speak the most Patois out of my brothers. I think they would agree with me on that. I speak the most like regularly. I'm MJ876. I noticed that foreign YouTubers get more views on Jamaican content than Jamaican YouTubers. Yes, yes, and I've been saying this a while, and this is no hate to my colleagues, but my fellow YouTubers, my fellow Jamaican YouTubers. But I mean, we gotta step our game up. Like we're competing globally here, like as YouTubers, like and that's everything from the quality of story to the quality of the production and even like the content itself. Like we're behind. And like I saw this when I first started, when I first came into this game. And I'm just like, and trust me, it was so terrible when I first came in. Like people have really stepped it up. Like YouTubers have stepped it up in a huge way. Jamaican YouTubers have stepped it up in a huge way. But we still got a ways to go, you know, especially when it comes to like try not to offend anybody here, but like especially when it comes to like vlog style YouTubers. I mean, there's so many different ways like I can like when I assess the market, and like I said, like I'm in these streets, like I'm in these YouTube streets, I'm studying, I'm in these trenches, like and I'm learning and I'm understanding different industries. And like one thing, like I don't know if you guys know, and I would love for somebody to do this. I always give the example of Ryan Serhant. He is a realtor in New York. Now he's a broker, and he went from doing real estate to becoming a YouTuber. He does both, but he's selling his services as a realtor and now broker on YouTube through his vlogs and through showcasing different real estate throughout New York City and now freaking all over the world, as a matter of fact. And like he was like a huge inspiration for me and how I do my real estate vlogs specifically. And I'm just like, how does Jamaica not have the Ryan Serhant of Jamaica? And this is like in a way, like I've become that, but I'm not a realtor, and I don't plan to become one, and that's not where. And every time I work with a realtor, I tell them like I am not trying to be a realtor. Like I don't want to. I want to be a YouTuber, and I want to tell the story of this house, this hotel, through you, the realtor, and I'm not here to. I don't want to do the paperwork. I don't have anything to do with that. And I'm just like, why hasn't a realtor gone down that path? And I've talked to realtors, and every realtor that I've had on, I'm like, you got to start your own YouTube channel. You got to start creating your own content. And what Ryan has done now, I think he did this a few years ago, is he actually started his own production company because he saw the value in social media and he saw the value in telling stories and creating vlogs because he's selling probably like I have pushed tens of millions of dollars in real estate sales through my YouTube channel. Hands out, like no question. I know that. And I'm not a realtor. I'm a YouTuber. And I'm just like, man, why hasn't a Jamaican realtor gone in all in that way to really push content out? And to me, this is again going along the themes of more eyeballs on Jamaica. And as we talk about foreign YouTubers getting more eyeballs on them, is because I'm not going to compare quality of content or anything like that, but they have a much bigger following, like let's say, but their content is like, I think, just globally appealing. And I just think we as YouTubers, Jamaican YouTubers, we have so much opportunity to do better. It's to learn from other industries. Like, don't just watch Jamaican YouTube. Like, you gotta watch other YouTube. And I think like that's where we get caught up here, is like we gotta watch the Mr. Beast of this world. What makes Mr. Beast so good? And if you're a Jamaican YouTuber and you don't know who Mr. Beast is, what are you doing? What are you doing? So, and I hope to like this is I'm not trying to be overcritical of anybody, but like I think that we have like a rare opportunity as a country. Like, people see how special what we have here is. And like some people it is like, and when we talk, like, let's move away from production, let's say, and when we see other people telling the story of what it's like to live in Jamaica in the rawest of form. And I said this, like, especially when I started my channel, I'm like, man, there are people who'd rather hear from somebody who is, say, a lifeguard on the beach, who is on their cell phone talking about their day to day, what it's like to go grocery shopping, what it's like to go do a river cookout. And like, these are raw and authentic experiences that you do on a daily basis that you don't realize that people want to see, right? And so anyway, I'm going on this rant to say, like, I think there's great opportunity for us as Jamaican YouTubers to elevate the production, elevate the stories that we tell. And we're seeing it now that a lot of outsiders are coming in and showing how magnificent and wonderful Jamaica is, which we already know. But like, let's showcase it more. Let's do more with it. Like, let's step up our production. Let's learn from other industries. I think we have great opportunity, and there's a lot of money to be made as solo YouTubers or solo creators. But then also on the greater scale, you're going to be getting more eyeballs on Jamaica, more people considering moving here, come visiting, maybe even wanting to meet you eventually. So I hope that that inspires some people, maybe, hopefully. But yeah, good point. Sorry, I went on. That was too long of a rant. Ginaldo says Jamaica had exclusive rights to trade in bananas to the UK after slavery, and then it was enforced again in 1962 during independence. Bill filed complaints that preferred trade partners are illegal. Yo, you making me hate Bill Clinton now. That's crazy. I didn't know that. It's crazy. Jason Wilson says the exposure is great for Jamaica. Puma just had a team of people for the Jamaica track team gear launch in Kingston. It's a new space for hospitality, social media influencers across content. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I saw a lot of runners that I follow that they were here. Yeah, tons of runners that I follow that were here and in Kingston. And they have like Puma Island. Boat was there. I think that's awesome. Like, again, more eyeballs on Jamaica. More eyeballs on Jamaica. Like, I love it. I love it. Thank you, calligraphy. Rob, your passport game strong. Thank you. Appreciate it. Sherry K says, hey man, you don't have to come back to Jamaica. Stay wherever you want, but stop bad mouthing Jamaica. Agreed. What's going on, NN? Good to see you. Jay's View says, do you see yourself living in any other country in the future? No, don't have any plans. I don't plan on going anywhere. extended stays here and there around the world, like, you absolutely. But living, I don't see Jamaica not being my home. All right. Steve Stevens says improving the healthcare system starts by eating better foods. Great point. Great point. As I drink my Gatorade, um, I think they're. I mean, they're doing the Ministry of Health, that is, like, these campaigns, but I think they should be so much stronger. Like the campaigns about eating healthy, staying away from certain fast food brands. I won't name any here, but that also w- weighs puts a heavy, heavy toll on the healthcare system. It's just lifestyle choices in what we consume, and then also not exercising. The health profile of Jamaica. I'd be interested to know where we're trending in that direction as a society, because I know, even now, like when you think of it and like what we're doing to our bodies now and what we're consuming, we're either going to pay or benefit from it in 10 or 20 years from now. Take that how you'd like, but and that's again one of the main reasons why I want to get into the healthcare system is also just like the health, what would I say, the health and lifestyle in general. As you guys know, I'm very much into fitness and living a fitness lifestyle. And I'm not saying it's for everybody, but I think there are elements of living a fit lifestyle that can be, can learn from it and can be attributed to, whatever your lifestyle is. But I think it's important that we adapt. And I'm not trying to talk at you or anything like that. Like, it would be more so of just, you know, bringing across knowledge that I have that could be a life hack, and maybe there's some information that you didn't know that could, improve your life in a big way. So, good point. We can talk about that stuff all day. Blazer fan says foreign YouTubers many times have subscribers that follow them throughout their world travels. That's right. Good point. Joe says, was anyone else stunned by the Ross Kitchen Matthew issue and ending the channel? Yeah, you guys are. I didn't know you didn't follow them. Yeah, yeah, I followed that. That was sad. That was unfortunate. Yeah, I remember that. Natural Yard says Jamaicans and JA take the natural beauty for granted. I get videos and images in JA that people back home don't think of. Shanna says, here's an idea. Create content course or host webinars for JA YouTubers in your words, step their game up. That's the name of the course. Step your game up. Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of it is like it's like what you consume too. It's like what you consume, because like we all get inspiration from our experiences, whether it's you traveling the world, going to a restaurant, and then also what we decide to spend time with on our phones, tablets, or televisions. And so if, if we're watching foolishness, we're going to produce foolishness, right? I think. But if you're inspired by like a cinematic scene in a YouTuber who lives in Iceland, it's also a filmmaker, you're gonna be like, okay, I want to create something like that in my own way, right? And so I think, there's a lot of amazing creators in Jamaica, but they're not like on YouTube. They're in the traditional television film industry. Jamaica is, I would say, this is my personal opinion. I think we are world class at creating music videos. Like the music videos we create here, are like ridiculous, like amazing, 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 amazing. And we do a really, really good job of that. Um, and I know a lot of traditional people, like they do, even when they were shooting the Bob Marley movie, like a lot of creative Jamaican resources were pulled for that. And I understand, like, everybody wants to make it to Hollywood and, go traditional film school route. But I think there's just so much opportunity in the YouTube space, and, using your skills as a creative in the traditional space on YouTube. The thing with YouTube is it's just such, and I get it, it's such a long game. It's very rare that you'll have people like really blow up and get to a point where you can make your only source of income or your main source of income is YouTube. I'm not even there. I'm definitely not there. I'm not even close to that right now. But my model is very different. My model is very different and my mission is very different. I would love to get my main source of income coming from YouTube, but like I have a much bigger vision for my channel and the impact that I want my channel to have. But I think that leaves a lot of room and opportunity for others to work on their craft and to eventually make this like a solid source of income for themselves. And when I say, when I say like traditional media creatives, transitioning from traditional media into the YouTube space, it could be just one of those things you put out a video every now and then, but I know, like, I see how talented a lot of these filmmakers are specifically. Like, they do amazing stuff. Their color grading, their framing, their storytelling is amazing. But, like, man, like, bring that over to YouTube because there's also, like, you need to YouTubeify, even as a creator, like, you need to YouTubeify your content. And sometimes I think some of those creators aren't willing to do that, and there's just a way you do YouTube. There's a way you make videos and film. There's a way you package it as well. And I don't know. I would love to work with some of these filmmakers. I don't even know if they consider it. Maybe they look down on YouTube and they're like, "Oh, it's not real filmmaking." I don't know. I haven't really talked to that many, but I just think they would do a great service for their country in this space, in this YouTube platform, influencer space, whatever you want to call it. Democracy says, Throp, what's your thoughts on the UK's 2 million allocation package for teachers from Jamaica? They currently have 500 such positions on offer for the next semester. How's the government going to compete? First, I'm hearing about that. So, if I understand what you wrote correctly, they're offering the opportunities for Jamaican teachers to go over there for the next semester. If that's the case, we already have a teacher shortage, and in terms of like we're losing teachers to other nations already. I mean, but you also can't. I mean, you can't blame somebody if they want to leave. I guess I don't know. I have to look into that. I don't know much. I don't know much about it. This is the first time I'm hearing about it. But thank you for bringing that to my attention. Shanna says, "When you build it, they will come." Throp. Okay. Okay. Simone says the young lady on Property Viewers does an excellent job. She is now a real estate agent, I believe, with Remax. Property Viewers. I've heard. Oh yeah, yeah. I know who you're talking about. I've seen their content. Yep, yep, yep. I think there's a lot more. There's a lot of room in this space. A lot of room in that space for the Ryan's. I was gonna say Ryan Seacrest, Ryan Serhant of Jamaica. Maybe she's the Ryan Serhant of Jamaica. I am MJ876. When Mark Wiens collabs with Jamaican Food Boss, Mark gets millions of views. Jamaican Food Boss gets a couple thousand. Yeah, I mean his. Who said it? Somebody said it before. It's like traveling around the world and collecting subscribers. Maybe that's the difference. But I really think it's. I think you could build a global following from Jamaica. I really do. I think the culture, the interest is that strong here. It really, really is. I mean, look at all the people coming here. Look at the examples that we gave, the Russell Peters, the Punty 50, talking about Jamaicans when he was young and just with his accent and people coming around him. So the interest is there. I think we have it. It's just a matter of like just kind of working at it and figuring out. There's a way. I believe there's a way. He says, I don't have a big followers, but my quality of productions has landed me government contracts, so I pivoted contracting for stakeholders. Excuse me, contracting for stakeholders needs. Zoe Simpson said, is it that we're not great presenters? No. Like it's I think a big part of it, this is a completely subjective, you know what I'm saying? Like what I'm saying, this is my opinion. I think that from a production quality. The thing is like with what like I just look at my, and I'm not saying this path is for everybody. Is like it was like so important to me to just know everything. And like one of the most intimidating aspects of becoming a YouTuber for me was editing. And I just had this like mental block that I'll never like there were certain YouTubers that were inspiring me. So Lost LeBlanc was one, Christian LeBlanc, Passport Heavy or Jabril. He's been traveling around the world for at that time, I think like 10 years or something like that. Um, Casey Neistat was a big influence for me. Mr. Beast, I like his content for me is entertaining, but I more so learn from him by studying almost like the back end of what he's doing in algorithm stuff and the metrics and analytics of it. But in specifically with editing, like I was just like, man, it's gonna take me forever to edit. And like I was thinking like, hey, maybe I can hire somebody to edit my videos. And like when I looked into the price of editing, it was completely prohibitive. Like even if it were I paid somebody a few $100 per video, I can never afford that, especially starting out. So what I did was like literally like I took a summer, I took a course, online course, and just was like it was in front of my computer, just studying and so like, and learning how to edit. And then I learned about cameras. And like I just and it took me I don't know why. Like sometimes it takes me a long time to understand concepts. So like understanding like aperture, shutter speed. Um, damn, I forget the other thing. But just understanding the camera. Well, now it's gonna bother me. Uh, Aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. Sorry, just forgot it. So there you go. So understanding like how the aperture, ISO, and shutter speed all work together on a camera, and like learning about filters, framing, then storytelling. So it was just like like I had to slow down. I had to slow down in terms of like getting like what I had in my head and like getting it to like a real product and something that you can visually consume. But with that, with taking that time, like now I can create whatever I want. There isn't much on the internet that I see that I'm like, how the heck would I do that? And this is not. I can do it myself. How would I? I became a drone pilot. I became a GoPro fanatic. I love using my GoPro and like learning about all these different types of cameras and when to use what in what situation. And so there is like an element of I think of like studying the fundamentals of filmmaking that is so important to understand to get your creative ideas again from a thought into making it into a like a consumable product that people are going to want to watch. And I think, and this was my mistake when I started. I just wanted to shoot and edit, but I sucked at shooting. I didn't know how to edit, and I just slowed down. So I think there's an like again, this is my personal opinion. Like, is it? It's important to kind of get back to the basics. Like, you have to be. I personally be like, you have to be a scientist of like all these different verticals. And like that's the difficulty of YouTube is because you're doing it by yourself. So you have to be an expert. Like, I'm not saying have to be. This was what I told myself. Like I have to be an expert photographer, I have to be an expert videographer, I have to be an expert cinematographer. I have to be an expert in editing video, in editing sound, in sound design. Uh, I had to learn how to set up. I mean, if you see my setup here with podcasts, like I had to learn like to me having good quality sound was like such a priority, and I had to learn about like a mixer. Like what are these SM7B mics, and how do we connect like coaxial cables and a camera switch? Like all these things, like you have to learn, and that's just like on the production side of things. And then we get into like YouTube and like how does YouTube work? How and learning like the back end and YouTube Studio and learning about how do you make your content and take your creative ideas and optimize it for a YouTube audience. And then like the most important thing of all of this, all these things I'm just saying, like the most important thing is storytelling. That's everything. As we move into this age of AI and these computers threatening the creative industry, what's going to absolutely rise to the top, no matter what, is storytelling. And everybody can have all these fancy cameras and these fancy equipments, these teams and whatever, but if you're not a good storyteller, it doesn't matter. You could have the best camera in the world. It doesn't matter if you don't know how to tell a story in a compelling way and get your idea across in a compelling way. Nobody's going to watch. And so, um, that's my long answer, and I could talk days about this. Like, I'm very, very passionate about this platform and my creativity and what I do. And like I'm constantly learning. I'm just constantly watching tutorials on editing styles, on camera tricks. I've been just looking up like yesterday, how do you shoot a solar eclipse with a Sony A7 IV? Because I want to capture that tomorrow. And I want to, it's a historical moment. So it's like having this mindset of just like always learning, always growing. I think that's what's missing. Long story short. Zoe says Jamaicans are not shy, but we do have the tools and expertise to take it to the next level. Yeah, absolutely. The Jamaicans are not shy. They're not afraid to get in front of a camera, and the personality is just there naturally. There's no question. Trey says, I miss Jamaica. Well, come on back, Trey. Jamaica's waiting for you. Simone says, does the algorithm and the back end stuff plays a part on the views? Absolutely, big part. But honestly, I don't really pay attention to the algorithm. I'm optimizing for you all. I'm optimizing for the subscribers. I'm optimizing for the people who are watching, and I don't think about the algorithm like whatsoever. Natalie says, orange Gatorade is my crack for some reason, or more yesterday. Steve Stevens says sugar is the cousin of crack. Straight up, gateway drug. I honestly believe that. Shauna says, Throp, on a production standpoint, expose them to knowledge systems organization and the behind the scenes. Yeah, I would love to. I have no problem in doing that. And I'm always learning myself. Always learning. And I'm not saying I'm the best. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not even close to the best. But uh, I'm not the best. I'm Winston Gel says, hello, shout out to Throb. Great interview with Bless Up Jess. Also, the interview about Montego Bay, new 4 towers that will be built in Bogue, Montego Bay. Thank you so much. Appreciate you chiming in. Appreciate you watching those pieces of content. Andrew Mack says YouTube is oversaturated now. I don't believe that at all. I think there is so much room in YouTube, but it's like there's room for quality content. Like how much crap is on YouTube? And you can define crap however you'd like, but there is such crazy room for high quality content. And I think there's so many ways that different stories can be told, and everybody has a story, right? But who's going to tell it in the best and most compelling way? And again, this doesn't have to be this high level, high production situation. Story over everything. I will always say that, but a lot of room for improvement in quality of production. Shana says, this can be part of your business structure and other income stream. It's an evergreen product, just something to consider. You can do it, Throb. Create your own lane. Thank you. I appreciate that. Damien says, during the Clinton administration, the NAFTA treaty really impacted trade in the produce and apparel industries. Horrible. Andrew Max says, I love property viewers. Simone says, everyone with a cell phone think they're a blocker posting gruesome content constantly that YouTube have to block or demonetize may also be affecting the algorithm for those based in Jamaica. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Good point. I wouldn't be surprised at that at all. Callison says, nothing wrong with partner YouTube's invading our little Jamaica, but of late I've seen an influx of a few who can do without selling themselves and not in a good way as opposed to Jamaica. Excuse me. As opposed to Jamaica. Chris Must List from Toronto says the same. He has gained so many views of Jamaican content. That's from Julia for Justice. Yeah, not surprised. Not surprised. People are hopping on the Jamaican bandwagon, as Jamaican creators should as well. I'll hop on our own bandwagon. Zoe says, "Do you think there's a YouTube content bust coming?" What do you mean? Like, is that you like you think this is like we're in a bubble? No, I think that bubble was that was the pandemic. To be honest, there were so many creators, and I again paying attention and being in these trenches. What happened during the pandemic is that there were so many creators making so much money because everybody was home and they thought that this was going to be life and they're going to always have this money, always make this money, and that bubble burst. That bubble burst in a big way, and now I don't think we're in a bubble. I think YouTube is continue to grow exponentially. When you look at the other platforms that are out there, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, chat, dare I say, like everybody's trying to move to YouTube because this is where it's the most sustainable. It's the most, I would say, so where I'm losing brain cells here. It's definitely the most sustainable platform that's out there, and especially when you look at these short form contents moving to long form content, that's where you're going to make the most money. That's where you're going to grow a community. That's where you're going to grow a community, like we've done here. So I no, I don't think we're in any sort of bubble, YouTube bubble at all. I think YouTube is just going to continue to just go up and up and up at this point. And yeah, a lot more creators are coming. Like it's definitely changing. I'm seeing a lot more vlogs as well, and I'm just like thinking globally, like a lot more people are moving back to vlogging, and like the golden era of vlogging was like the 2015 to 2018, 19. Like this is where I got my inspiration to start. It was from these vloggers, started like vlogging their life and doing daily vlogs, which is like like that is so what I want to do. You guys have no idea. I want to start daily vlogging, but I just don't have the capacity to do it right now. There's so much I need to clear off my plate in order to do that. So I probably won't be able to do that until next year, which is very very sad. That's like one of the things I am most passionate about because I think there's just so much I want to share with you all on a day to day basis, and just taking on too much right now. I can't do it next year. Zoe says you have to have some measure of the exposure, in my opinion, to be a good YouTuber or natural on camera. I find while in Jamaica's not Jamaicans' fault, there needs to be more exposure, more subject knowledge. Yeah, agreed. Good point. Marcia says, heading to grill April 18th. Are the beaches on Bloody Bay cleared up totally after storms? Yeah. That was weeks ago. Totally clear. Totally clear. You're good. Damien says Russell Peters' best friend was Marlin, and his father liked a special Jamaican fruit. Andrew says throughout most of big YouTubers didn't put so much thought and technical skills into starting their channel. I agree though with storytelling and have a great personality. No, I agree. I agree with that. I mean, and we all start out like that. Everybody starts out like that, and then you gain your followers, you learn. I'm more so talking about YouTubers that have been Jamaican YouTubers that have been doing this for years, and there has to be an elevation in your product, right? You have to be growing. A lot of the YouTubers, like if you look at them and if you look at their journey, in a big way, it's very much the same from when they first started. And I always look like even if I look back at my content that I created last year and I look at it from the perspective and eyes that I have now in 2024, I'm like, man, that was trash. And if I go back to like when I first started, even more trash, and like, and maybe it's just me judging myself too hard, but like that's the way I look at it. And if I go back and look like from last year, and I'm just like, damn, and I was like, that video is better than what I'm making now. I'm like, oh, okay, there's something off. Like I just always have to be progressing, and I always have to be getting better at my craft. And I think that is missing from many Jamaican YouTubers. And maybe they don't have the resources to improve, but I don't think this has anything to do with resources. Again, it's like, are you like, I feel like you can become a better speaker, become a better on-camera personality. As Zoe was saying, have a greater knowledge base of whatever it is that you're talking about, taking the time to do the research. I think most people just want to get on camera, start talking and going. And like, but there's so much work that goes into the preparation for a should into getting ready in front of that camera. That has to be, and then you as a YouTuber, you have to study the game. You have to study your own game. You have to study your game tape. Just like a professional basketball player like LeBron, he always talks about studying game tape and studying what his opponent is doing and studying what he's doing and how what he could have done on that play instead of that. Or maybe he made a wrong read during the championship finals, right? And so like we have to do that to us. I think it's so important. It's like how are you going to get better? And it's just like just holding yourself accountable to getting better. And I think a lot of the YouTubers that I'm seeing that are making great content, in relative to what's existing here already, but like man, we need to push the envelope. We need to push it because there's just so much opportunity here. And again, I think we need to get more eyeballs on Jamaica, more eyeballs on Jamaica. Natalie Holmes says they would probably write a relocation prescription after I tell them how I made changes. Um, Zoe says you have to be exposed and you have to be a great storyteller. A great storyteller is a reader. Jamaica doesn't have a good library. How do we cultivate reading? From reading comes everything. Agreed, agreed. And perhaps you're not the most ferocious reader. Listen to a podcast, listen to an audiobook, and you can do that on YouTube. And it's just really maintaining this, like, having this growth mindset, and it is for sure maintaining almost a high level of delayed gratification, which in this world is few and far between. But this is how we're going to get better as Jamaican YouTubers. It's just like sorry about that. It's really about expanding our minds, and again maintaining a growth mindset. And you hit it on the head. It's like we got to reading. We got to read. And again, if you're not a reader, do the audiobooks, podcasts. Like always learning. Like when I'm driving in my car, I'm probably not listening to music. I'm probably listening to a podcast. Julie for Justice says, Throp, I will be there next weekend to pick up my bag in your manager's office. Oh man, I moved it to my dad's house. All right. I will be here. Yeah, just shoot me an email or Instagram message to remind me, and I'll make sure I bring it down. Jardine says Jamaica is a vegetarian paradise. Philistina says, "Good afternoon, Throp. Jamaicans are amongst the most innovative nation in the global community today. Some just need polishing and tweaking. I was gonna say twerking, tweaking. Thanks. Agreed. I think that's it. And maybe a little leadership. Maybe a little. Hey, try it this way. Have you considered that? Like, I agree. Totally agree. Chris, what's going on? Greetings, Throppers. Big up from Ohio, viewing two clips. Oh, that's awesome. That's why you're there. You're all over, Chris. Awesome. I am MJ876. So many people have different experience and talents that I don't see the YouTube money train slowing down. Agreed. John J says, shared a short walk with you in the Sandals area after your morning run. We discussed your meniscus concern. Are things going okay? And is the London Marathon still on your schedule? Curious. Good to hear from you, John. I do remember you. Nope, had to pull out the London Marathon. Unfortunately, sent that email last week, and meniscus still good, no good. Haven't ran. That was actually one of my last runs that you saw me on. Actually, haven't ran in many weeks now, just on the bike. So now just about strengthening it. Still don't have full mobility, but doesn't hurt me at all day to day. But certain movements, especially lateral movements, I can't do like I used to. Thank you for asking. I appreciate that. Blazer fan says I'm listening to the podcast right now in my car too. Awesome. There you go. Joe says, all I do is listen to podcasts in my car. I don't have time to sit down and read books, but I'm quick to put on a podcast. I think that's great. That's all. I think that's awesome. And I think too, like, if you're a competitive person like I am, you're just like, you're just getting a one up on your competition, whoever or whatever your competition is, and maybe your competition is yourself. And then says, "Hi, I'm driving. Listen, I'm driving, listening to you right now." Throp. There you go. Then stop texting. Stop texting and driving. Maybe somebody else is driving, right? Uh, Philistina says, as a business owner, I certainly understand you have to evolve. Staying stagnant is not an option. Once you're serious with passion and growth is excellent. There you go. Clarity says accountability on point. I am MJ says I follow the lead attorney and all he does is live streams. He didn't want to do editing. Yeah, honestly, same with me. That's something that I'm trying to figure out and consider. It's just like, hold on, I'm gonna switch Wi-Fi's here. Actually, it's kind of a good time to take a quick break. Let's see, which one should we put on? Oh, let's do this jellyfish one. Okay, give me 1 second. Usually see some crazy stuff out here in the water, so I figured bring the GoPro today. Let's see if we see anything. Hopefully nothing too crazy. I want to come back safe and sound. Enjoy. That was awesome. Those are my little adventures that I take every time I go out and swim. Always see something cool. Almost ran into that little one at the end, huh? We made it back safe and sound. Till the next adventure. That did not go according to plan. Okay, we're back. Joe says, in my daydreams, I would love to be a YouTuber. I think it would be great for my nonprofit, but I'm just too introverted to do it. I can't just look into my phone and start talking. I was the same way. And like it took me so long to like when I decided like, oh, this is what I want to do. It took me over a year to upload my first video. And I remember like I used to just like, I mean, you can even do this now, Joe, to start. Like, I used to just record myself, and I'm sure I could find them. I used to just record myself on my phone, either while I was driving or sitting down or whatever, talking about different topics, and just talk, just talk. I just knew I had to get used to talking to a device and not talking to a person, which I'd never done before. So I just kept doing it. I mean, I have these like long videos on my phone. Again, I'm sure I could find it like half an hour, 45 minutes out of just me talking to my phone, just talking about whatever. Um, but it helped me to build my confidence and it helped me to um, just kind of get used to it. So it's possible. Simone says Elite Jamaica official does a great job on his channel based on his content. Let me see that. I'm typing in all of these recommendations you all giving me. All right. Let's move on to the next topic that brought me down crazy path talking about these didn't it? All right, so we talked about Thropx. I guess the next thing I want to bring up again, or bring up not next thing, but I want to bring up again is the conference, just making sure everybody gets their tickets, and also the live stream that we're doing on Thursday again. So we're doing a live stream every Thursday. This is our last one. Holy crap! This is our last one. That's so crazy. Time flies. We did a four series, 4 episode series on the international real estate conference and expo, and this Thursday will be the last one. They've been really, really excellent. Better than, I don't mean this in a bad way in terms of what my expectations were, but they was better than I thought it could have been. Like, it was really, really awesome. The guests were phenomenal. Like, I learned so much, and those of you who were there can speak to it. Just learned a lot about real estate from different people's perspectives, leaders in real estate in Jamaica, and it's all culminating at the IREC April 18th to April 20th at the Montego Bay Convention Center. So I hope you all are able to make it there. Clary T asked about tickets. You can get them on irec.realtorsjamaica.org. Let me see if I got that answer about the live stream. No, okay, just got it. There's no live stream. So thank you, Shanna. There'll be no live stream. So you got to be there. Got to be in it to win it. So you got to be there to go and experience it. No live stream happening, unfortunately, but I think it's a good excuse to get out there. And I know some people, many people, are not here in Jamaica and can't be there physically. But I will be documenting it. So we're going to be making a lot of content from this conference, and we have, like I said, the whole squad is coming out, the whole Thrive Media. Sure that uh, we'll get you as, as much information about out about it. So it's not, you know, I'm not recording the whole thing. I want to make that clear. I'm definitely not recording the whole thing, but we're going to be having elements of it, and then also even my keynote speech will be available as well afterwards. And then hopefully, when the next one happens, you see this stuff, I'm like, okay, I'm not missing it. I'm gonna be in Jamaica for it. So yeah, next Thursday is the last one. So I hope you'll be able to make it. So the next thing I want to bring up, few announcements. We got the Throppers think tank coming up on Saturday. So that's next Saturday. I got a little delay. at 12 o'clock. So if you those Therapists think tank for those, and it's basically consultation that we have. We'll go about hour and a half. Are all over this group Patreon, so you can go on Patreon. Oh, I'm having some technical issues here. All right. Sorry, I was trying to pull up the flyer here. Okay, let's see if we can do that. Okay, it's talking about the Throp Thinker Thinkers meeting. So, $20 a month. Patreon link is in the description below. Sorry about that, but you can join there in the Patreon group consultation every month that we do. Would love to have you to be part of this group. And this is our third or fourth one. I can't remember, but it's been fun so far. So looking forward to that on Saturday. Other content we are doing. So this week, I'm very excited. If you haven't checked out the interview that I did with Bless Up Jess, we opened up talking about that. Awesome, awesome, really, really great stuff. If you're not following her, she's a great follow. She's traveling around Jamaica as a solo female backpacker from Australia, sharing her experiences with her followers in the world. So check that out when you get a chance. But this week, we're also releasing the construction panel from ThropX last year, sorry. This was this is like one of the top panels like I've ever been to. I mean, just drenched in value. We had a landscape architect, an architect, a contractor, and a quantity surveyor all on the same stage. And man, they just like between they're not like each one of them deserved their own panel. I swear to God, like each, but we just couldn't do it. And like all four of them were on there. Absolutely, absolutely killed it. Amashika did an amazing job as a host and fielding questions. But like this is one of those pieces of content. Like if you're looking to do construction in any capacity in Jamaica, like you gotta listen to this one. I can't wait to release it. I want to get it out so like very quickly. I'm not sure if we're gonna do a midweek release or not. We'll see. We'll see what the schedule is like. But definitely an awesome panel discussion that I'm excited to be sharing with the world. And for those of you that were there at ThropX, you can concur that panel was out of this world, out of this world. So I think that's all the announcements that I have so far at this point. Damn, we've been going 3.5 hours. That's cool. It flew by. It flew by. The only thing stopping me from keep going is like I get hungry. I need some longer commercials so I can eat in between, and also I keep going. But yeah, been going some time. I'm gonna get some lunch, and we'll be back on Thursday. So Thursday, 5 p.m. That'll be the next stream, and then again we'll be back here, same time, same place, next Sunday. And let's get a few of the last few comments here. Aaliyah, don't forget about the farmers. Now we are importing coffee from Brazil. What, Jamaica is importing coffee from Brazil? I would think the only reason to import coffee from Brazil because the Blue Mountain coffee is ridiculously expensive. It's like I think it's like $50 a pound. It's crazy expensive. Crazy expensive. So I don't know. Oh, but that's crazy that we're importing coffee. I'm gonna look into that first I'm hearing. Blue Wellington, excuse me, says one has to consistently upload videos, and that is the difficulty I have. I started a channel during the pandemic and have not posted a video for a long time, and it is so hard to get back on track. Oh, trust me, I've been there. I know all about that. It's really like it's such a battle of like you want to do that, right? You want to upload video, but you also have real life stuff to deal with. And you realize, or at least for me, you got to cut some stuff out. It's like, what is it that you're going to cut out of your life to make time for your YouTube ambitions? And that's for each individual person to answer. and it's for you to figure out. And it's tough, you know. It is tough. It is a big part of this game is figuring that out. And sometimes, you know, for me, sometimes YouTube takes a hit. Sometimes, you know, got to do family stuff. Got to do stuff with my main business, with my family's business, with the hotel. So with my nonprofit, with Neat. So it's all these different like micro decisions that we have to make in order to kind of make it in this game, so to speak. Clarity says, so excited for your um, keynote. Thank you. Hope you can make it. Hope to see you there. Miguel says, speaking of commercials, do you do commercials on your live stream? I do. Played a couple. We got more coming. We got more and more coming actually. So, hey, if you're interested and you want me to advertise for you here, let me know. Shoot me a DM on Instagram at Throp, and we can talk. Sweet Feather says, love and appreciate your show and energy, Throp. I appreciate you for chiming in. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. Natalie Holmes says, $25 a pound from Thunder. Gotta look into that. Aaliyah says, more coffee might be coming here from Colombia and Brazil than what we produce in Jamaica. We are importing the coffee. Crazy, crazy. Aaliyah says, more coconut water being imported into the country. Coconut water? What's happening here? This doesn't even make any sense to me. Jalea says, Ford just joined alive and seen the title. Fantastic, fantastic news. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, we're wrapping up here. I just want to say thank you all for joining this week. This was a long one, but a good one. I enjoyed this. This kind of flowed from one thing to another, and I'm all about that. And I will leave you all with that beautiful view. Rain held off. It's nice. Still getting a nice breeze coming through as well. And wishing you all a great week ahead. I will see you on Thursday at the last of the International Real Estate Conference and Expo live stream at 5 p.m. Jamaica time. And I'll see you next Sunday here, same time, same place. Have a great week, everybody. It's to you all.